Not bad.
Good. Well, if you are all on roll 20, you can see the pyramid where you stand. We will get started here shortly. Make sure everything's all good. Just a quick little mock-up pyramid that I made in Inkarnate. Looks okay, I think. Little exterior map. So the first thing I want to do, since it's been a few months at least, I don't exactly remember, but it's been quite a while since we did anything with the Goblin Squad. We'll just go back over everybody's character really quick for the stream and introduce our new character, played by Pickle Deer, the newest goblin to the crew. And we'll start there, I guess. We'll pull it up on screen to show everybody the character sheet. A 7th level Oath of Vengeance paladin named Thwack. Pickle, do you want to tell us a little bit about Thwack?
Sure. Thwack is on an epic quest to clear the good name of Knack, who Thwack is definitely not the same person.
Of course.
And Knack got himself in trouble for pushing his cousin into a campfire. And so they have to prove that it's actually the campfire's fault, that the campfire is a murderer. So Thwack is on an epic quest to bring the fire to justice, but he has to find someone willing to put the fire on trial, which is proving difficult.
I can imagine. That's awesome. Perfect. Especially the Oath of Vengeance, like seeking revenge against the campfire, is amazing. I'm really excited to see this character in action. So 7th level paladin, got some pretty cool stats. 14, 14, 16, 11, 12, 17. Not too bad at all. Some cool abilities. I really like the Oath of Vengeance paladin. They can really lay on the damage and control a battlefield pretty well. Very cool.
Yeah, he's going to be interesting because he has a lot of keep away abilities,
Yeah,
which are very goblin-esque. So
they're both a really good tank and really good at not getting hit very much.
he's a tank in that he's going to annoy people into chasing him around the battlefield,
Right.
but never actually be close enough to hit, hopefully,
I like
in
it.
theory.
We will see how that theory plays out in this dungeon that is certainly non traditional. Let me just say that. First of all, a lot of our previous dungeons, and this one will have a little bit of it, but a lot of the previous ones have been, go into a room, there's some monsters, fight the monsters, go into the next room, and it's kind of been okay. And I think combat heavy dungeons are really good for both Roll20 and for the stream. It keeps it pretty engaging and stuff, but we've done so much of that, and for like the final of the three like magical artifact dungeons that you guys have been on the quest to take down, wanted to do something a little special. So this will be slightly different, so uh, be prepared for anything, I guess.
I smell a trap dungeon. Just traps on traps on traps.
Well, when I first started the stream, I said everyone who remembers how White Plume Mountain went, that will be like nothing compared to this. So we'll see. I'm excited.
We're gonna fight a bunch of mirror versions of ourselves inside. There's nothing worse than that.
I made the joke to Dr. Feargood earlier that the entire pyramid is actually a giant mimic, but I didn't go that crazy with it.
You just like recreate Tomb of Annihilation in there.
Yeah, the entire campaign inside this pyramid. As soon as you walk in the door, you're transported to Cholt.
Right now, I'm just like imagining it's just like it's hollowed out and just like empty, and there's just like one like thing in the center. It's just like an elevator, just straight to hell. It's just like there you go. That's the actual dungeon.
Well, You're not too far off. So who is next? Flack, was that vampire? Was that your character? Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Flack, the 7th level Storm Sorcerer, super cool. Everybody probably remembers, but for those of you who don't, if there's anybody out there, Flack, what's your deal?
I don't know. He kills stuff. He shoots with lightning and fire, and he can occasionally float.
Yes, cool. Storm Sorcerer is very underutilized, I feel, but very cool. And yeah, he can fly around every time he casts a spell. All right, and Dr. Feargood, you were Brack, is that correct?
Yes, the Forge Domain Cleric.
Forge Domain Cleric, very cool.
But I'm a Hobgoblin.
Oh, that is correct.
The unofficial leader of the group.
Yes, the unofficial leader of the Goblin Squad. Brack was the Hobgoblin that was kind of leading the surviving goblins who were found in the little temple outside of Aegis, and they were recruited into the council to kind of do the side quests that the council main party could not do. And now they've found themselves in a bit of a pickle deer. No, a bit of a interesting situation, kind of becoming the main party here for an adventure or so. Brack is kind of super powerful. I really like Forge Clerics. 20 AC is insane, I think.
Well, that's because my Soul of the Forge and the Blessing of the Forge.
Yes. Forge Domain Clerics are so cool. I just really like clerics in general. You can do so much with them. They have like a million subclasses. You can do a lot. Like in the game that I'm playing in Dr. Feargood's campaign that just started last Sunday, we did our first session 0. I'm doing an Arcana cleric, which is like a wizard cleric. So you can really do a lot with this class, and I'm super stoked to see how you guys take down this dungeon. So that's the 3. There's also who was it? Grack or Clack? I can't remember. I think it was Grack was the fighter goblin.
Yeah.
Yes. So this was the like NPC goblin that tagged along, and he was like, just like a lot of my NPCs, was an absolute moron and not very good at anything. And he somehow survived and made it all the way through White Plume Mountain with you guys. And then at the very end, he got Black Razor, and Black Razor consumed his soul and killed him and took over his body. So Grack is no more. You just have Black Razor traveling around with you guys in a goblin body and carrying Black Razor the sword. So
Fun.
yeah. So let's get
like, is his body like all withered and he's like emanating like a dark like aura around him?
So this
just like dragging him, like his feet are just like slightly dragging as the sword pulls him along.
Since he was like a pretty stout and sturdy 7th level fighter, I think Black Razor figured that he was of use to actually have like a pretty strong physical form to carry him around to do his bidding. But this Black Razor is like, he's slightly different than your average, regular campaign Black Razor, because the world is in this alternate timeline that's been shifted by the Lich's evil doing. Black Razor realizes that his access to the countless souls of the living to consume them all is a little bit cut off. So he actually wants to help you guys defeat the Lich and right the wrongs and fix the timeline so he can go back to the regular world and consume every possible living soul in existence. So, makes total sense.
So he's helping us. Yay!
Yeah, he's helpful-ish. He's still an asshole, but he's like, he'll be your NPC that also yells at you occasionally. And where we left off last time, a whole bunch of crazy stuff happened. I will get the highlights are up on Twitch if anyone wants to recap. I'll get the YouTube uploads done this week. I've been a little bit behind, pretty busy trying to get this whole adventure written. Last time, a bunch of stuff happened. Tweed was found out to be evil in some way. We haven't quite learned yet. Stole the artifacts killed a bunch of people and took prisoner the main party, and with his giant skeletal hands, they were taken underground and taken away somewhere that we have not learned yet. And then we flash over to the Goblin Squad, and they are very lost on their way back from White Plume Mountain, trying to bring these artifacts back to the main party, and they happen upon a pyramid in the mountains and walk inside, and we will begin.
And I forgot to mention that Thwack has a warg mount named Brutus.
Sweet, yes. For anyone that doesn't know, wargs are like the giant wolf type beasts that are commonly seen being ridden by goblins and orcs in fantasy. Super cool, super flavorful, and I love the name. Awesome.
And in D&D, they can actually speak goblin, so
yes, that is super cool. So we will try to make use of that. I think, let me 1 second here. If you guys, can you guys see the page and everything okay?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I think there actually is a goblin riding a warg token in Roll20. Let me see if there is.
I wouldn't be surprised. They have a picture of it in the monster manual.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it just to make that work a little better. Yeah, we're going to use that for you. I don't remember who is who.
I'm the one with the shield.
Oh, I know who I am.
Yeah.
He's the one laying down.
So
No, I'm ascending.
Oh, okay.
I think the one with the staff was Samurai, so this one in the middle that'll be Black Razor now. He'll be on the bottom. And then, of course, Thwack with Brutus. Cool. So now everyone knows who they are. You guys enter into the pyramid, being lost for several days after exiting White Plume Mountain, and kind of arguing the entire time, as the Goblin Squad tends to do, in a playful but, goblin-y manner, thinking that you're going the correct way back to the island, but obviously heading further inland, and get into this giant pyramid. And you had actually heard Tweed mention the pyramid before, like at the council meetings, talking about the future missions to go and retrieve the other artifacts to take down the Lich. And I need all of you to roll an intelligence check to see if you remember any of the details about what you heard about the pyramid in those meetings.
Intelligence check. Okay.
Yep.
Would Thwack roll that too, or is that just for...
Well, are we assuming that we can retcon it that Thwack was with the Goblin Squad the whole time, or did they just find you?
I mean, it
Yeah,
covers the story
whichever.
that he finds us because he was on a quest, but I don't know. I'm fine with either way.
That would be pretty cool if you somehow were also just in this world on that quest to find the judge to redeem your cousin against the fire. So yeah,
Well, it's not my cousin. It was Knack's cousin that he pushed in.
Right.
Thwack is no relation, and I repeat, no relation to Knack, although Knack sure sounds like a swell and handsome goblin.
Right. So Black Razor will also not roll, as he has, even if he has the memories of Grak, he no longer cares and will not access those memories, as it's beneath him.
I don't remember nothing.
Flack rolled a nat 1. Oh, no, not nat 1, but a 1 nonetheless. So you all walk into this pyramid and kind of look around this big main hallway, and you see this, it's like a giant square room that's completely white on the inside, like sandstone. It's almost like a marble shine to it. It's this beautiful, open, sandy, white colored room, and all of you are like, wow, giant pyramid. No idea what this is. Never heard of such a place. And it's fairly empty. All you can see are a door on either side of you, on the left and the right, as you walk into this giant main hall that appear to go off into separate rooms. And then in front of you, you just see a bare back wall with a giant sarcophagus sitting in the center of the floor. And off to the side in the corner of the room, you see a what looks like a young woman sitting in a chair and kind of like nodding back and forth asleep. And she seems to be young-ish human woman, wearing like tattered clothing and a red vest, like you would see someone wearing behind the counter at like a movie theater, like a red like host vest or a chauffeur vest of some sort. And she's appears to be sound asleep in the corner, sitting on this chair. And we'll leave it up to you guys.
Well, I don't like the look of this, guys. I don't think there should be a welcoming party to a creepy pyramid. So who's gonna touch it?
Have the dog go sniff it.
That's a good idea.
All right. Yeah, Black will charge it.
The woman or the
Well, it was a woman and what else?
the only things you see in this room are a giant like stone sarcophagus sitting in the center of the room, and then a woman asleep, like a young woman asleep in a chair in the corner.
So you're gonna charge it.
Well, he'll go up and probably like poke her with his quarterstaff,
Okay.
which for some reason isn't on my character sheet. It should be.
You can add one if you
I
want.
know I took one. Yeah.
My character kind of like gets ready to like look at the sarcophagus and see if anything's gonna happen.
Okay, are you getting any closer to it, or are you just looking at it?
Yeah, I just center myself. Yeah, like one to the left,
Okay.
and then that's about it.
So you guys are being a little cautious, and Flack, you kind of get in a position where you can get a pretty good line on the sarcophagus. And Thwack, you are you riding, or is Brutus just with you?
Yeah, I'm riding.
Okay, so you kind of gallop over to the woman sleeping in the chair in the corner, and you hold out the quarterstaff to like poke at her, like, what the hell, who sleeps in a weird evil pyramid? And you get like one good jab in, and she snaps awake and like looks around for half a second and realizes like, oh damn, I just fell asleep on the job. And she bolts up out of the chair, kind of dusts some dust and sand off of the vest, that you realize like anything that sits in this place for more than a few minutes, the natural kind of dust particles and sand will just kind of float through the air and land on you, and you get pretty dusty and dingy within minutes just being in this place. And she dusts off the vest and speaks and says, I apologize for not immediately being ready and introducing myself. My name is Anne. And she speaks in this very monotone and like almost annoyed voice. And now that she's fully standing up, you see that this looks like a like teenage girl that's like you would expect to see someone that looks like they're working their first job, like exactly like a kid behind the counter at like a movie theater. And she kind of like looks around a little bit and looks at all of you and says like, goblins, that's a new one. Well, welcome. This is the Pyramid of the Infinite Mind. And she continues to just look annoyed at you all and kind of trails off a little bit. And she's like, well, oh yeah, you can't leave. What was it? You can't leave until you complete all the trials, and I think that's it. Oh yeah, you can feel free to check out our gift shop to your east and our information center to the west. And I'll be your tour guide through the pyramid.
Gift shop.
It's a little museum that our curators have set up to honor the ancient magics and pharaohs that used to hold place in this pyramid and built it. And we just now inhabit it. And I just work here. And then she sits back down. Oh yeah, you have to find the entrance into the next room. I'll be here for any questions. And then she just kind of spaces out and looks at like a watch and kind of just zones out sitting in a chair.
Well, judging by her expression, I'm pretty sure that nobody that gets in here really gets out. I don't need to really ask her that.
She like
really
rolls her
doesn't-
eyes.
She really doesn't seem invested like she's ever seen a chance of anyone getting out of here. No excitement in her life because nothing has ever changed.
That-
Other than we're goblins. That's the most exciting thing to her. So, I kind of want to check out the information center so we can figure out how the hell we get out of here. We get more information. But I can see how the gift shop could be appealing if there's maybe something we can be stealing. But it's up to you guys. You definitely outnumber and outpower me. I am definitely the most frail.
While you're talking, she's kind of like doing the like hand motion for like blah 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 and kind of laughing at the same time. And then when you say stealing, she's like, "Oh, there is a gift shop attendant. Nothing's gonna get by."
Okay, well then at least it's valuable enough to be bought. We have gold.
She says, "Well, we don't take gold. We accept other currencies. Go check it out yourself."
Oh my god.
Your goblin voice reminds me so much of Rick from Rick and Morty. It's,
That's awesome.
Uh,
Pretty similar character, I think.
it makes me want to like just drop my goblin voice and go for something.
Let's go for Morty.
Nah, Rick is more like this.
Gee, I don't know.
Perfect.
So, can you tell me who's in the coffin?
She kind of raises an eyebrow at you and says, "Good question. That is the coffin of the Pharaoh of the Infinite Mind, the first Pharaoh of the pyramid and builder of this very structure, and the reason that we have this little museum to honor them in the first place. You can find out more in the information center."
And where's that?
To the right.
The gift shop and information center are the left and right rooms from the main hall.
He said east and west. It's left and right.
Is that right or left? Okay.
Information to
There's-
the right.
There's a sign over one of the doors on your right that says information center, and then the door to your left says
I say we
gift
go
shop.
for information first. We need information, don't we?
Yeah, but gift shop.
I know. Pretty Bob. Pretty
There's
Bob.
Gifts in there.
But we can't steal him. He done said it.
Black
Well, that's why
Razor
you-
kind of pipes up and says like, "Well, we can steal anything, but make up your minds, fools."
Let's just go to the information center so then we know maybe that if we're not buying a lemon. You know what I'm saying? We all spend our souls on some like stupid urn that doesn't even have anything in it. At least this time we can maybe.
Oh, yeah,
That's
maybe
something
the
that's
information
worth
center will
buying.
tell us what's valuable.
Mm.
Yeah, if I'm selling my soul, it's not gonna be for some useless urn.
Let's go for it.
So you guys walk
To
over
the
to
east.
the information center.
Yes.
Okay, so you find yourselves in a room that essentially looks like just a very small version of the room you were just in. Another like sandstone covered, kind of shiny white room that has some dust particles in it that looks like there's really rarely any people in here. And you see a couple of like plaques on the wall where there's some like information plaques like you would see at a museum, although there's no exhibits or anything in here. There's just writing, and that there's a little podium, and behind it appears the same girl that was out in the main hall. And she just kind of appears there and begins reading off of a script, like very obviously reading off of a script, like still does not care at all. So you enter the information center and she begins reading off of a small pamphlet, and she says, "Welcome to the Pyramid of the Infinite Mind. Once home to the great pharaohs of the ancient world, we found it abandoned hundreds of years ago and set up the finest," and she rolls her eyes at that, "museum and testing facility in Onhef. Many adventurers have tried to best the trials of the pyramid, but since its inception, only one has succeeded. Winners gain access to the most powerful magic the museum curators have to offer from the time of the ancient pharaohs. Losers are, of course, kindly sent on their way and not harmed in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, that's nice.
In the trials faced on the following rooms of the pyramid, you may face challenges you have never imagined, but your assigned tour guide," and she does like a thumb point at herself, "will be available to assist you at all times. Thank you."
You're welcome.
And then she sets the pamphlet down and kind of just twiddles her thumbs while you stand there.
Yeah, so they definitely kill us if we don't do this right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, obviously.
She reads the same section from the pamphlet again, like, "Losers are in no way, shape, or form harmed."
Is that part in quotation marks on your form there?
She looks down and she's like, yeah, it is. Why?"
Guys,
No reason.
guys, think about it like this. If this is a testing facility, then and they're locking us in to do it, and they're investing all this time and energy and money into this, do you really think they're just gonna let us go out and like ruin their whole operation by telling people how it works and giving them an inherent advantage by telling them what we saw? Do you think they would just let us get away with that? That would ruin their whole point of trying to test something. But maybe that's not true and I'm crazy.
I have to agree.
I also ask her, let me guess, the exit is nowhere near the entrance and you never see anybody leave, do you?
She
She
lets
reads the
out
pamphlet again.
a little bit of a chuckle and is like, "Until your trials have officially begun, I am not at liberty to discuss the happenings inside the pyramid."
Oh yeah.
So we can leave then.
She says, "Well, no."
If our trials haven't officially begun.
They haven't officially begun, but they haven't officially not begun.
We're in the pre-trial.
Yeah, the pre-trial trial.
The trial of the pre-trial trials.
Exactly. This guy gets it.
All right, the gift shop. Yay!
Yay!
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Let's go to the gift shop.
you make your way over to the other side
There's no way anything's going to be good for us here.
into the gift shop.
It's
And
going to be a trap to make us lose our souls.
Wonder
this
who's gonna
room,
wait on us.
this room is a little bit more nicely decorated. It actually has, some rugs and things covering the floor. It kind of actually looks like a little bit of a like common store. And behind the nice counter with some glass countertops appears Anne again. And
Hello again, Anne.
she turns around from behind the counter like, "Oh, welcome to the gift shop." Like she's surprised to see you here. And let's see. You get into the gift shop and you see some paintings for sale on the wall that are they look like they're like ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, or what your characters would assume like some ancient forgotten language painted on these canvas paintings on the wall. And there are just a few items for sale in the like glass cabinet that Anne is standing behind. And she says, step right up. Some challengers have found some of these items helpful in their trials.
Did the one person that actually made it through ever buy anything here?
That's a pretty good question.
She says, that's a very good question. Let me think for a moment. And she says, this was a very long time ago. When I had first started at this job, you would think that back then I would have been paying a little bit more attention. And
No, I wouldn't.
she looks at all of the items in the cabinet, and let me see here. No, I don't think he did.
Yeah, big surprise.
Yeah, maybe it just costs more than it ever gives you because this whole room is a trap. I don't know.
Just for
Maybe this
fun,
is the
what,
real
what are
killer.
the items?
So one by one, she pulls out of the glass cabinet, and you can see them in there. There's a pillow,
Ooh.
a kind of really poorly sewn together like homemade rag doll, but it has 5 heads.
No.
There's
That's
a
nice.
set of like brass scales, like the scales of justice type thing, like a two-sided set of scales. And there's a very smooth round rock that is like perfectly spherical, like a ball, but it's like a shot put, almost like a round rock.
Are they all like branded for the pyramid?
Like logos.
I
and-
visited the pyramid in
Yeah.
the Pyramid of Mine, and all I got was this lousy rock.
Yeah. I went to the pyramid and somehow they gave me this pillow. So she sets them all on the counter and says, I know they don't look like much, but yeah, they're not, I don't know. Buy them if you want.
Well, what do you want for it? You say you don't take gold, so what do you want for this crap?
Oh, yeah, and she explains, we deal in blood at the Pyramid of the Infinite Mind. Each of these items costs a permanent portion of your health.
Oh.
And you don't even know what they do.
I am not at liberty to discuss the happenings of the trials inside the pyramid.
S-
Well,
I'm
how much
So
is
yeah, this is probably the thing that kills everybody else. They're like, oh, let's just spend like half our health, and then they like go in, and it's just like a fire trap. Like, oh, if only we had like 12 more HP.
in the first room you get whacked.
But man, I'm glad I have this pillow.
Damn it, it's a pillow-seeking missile.
So how much
This
is
pillow makes me more tired and more susceptible to this sleep spell.
You can't let go of it, and you always want to rest every 5 minutes.
How does these things determine how many blood points we lose?
She says, which item are you interested in?
So at least for sure one of these is a bait. Just one of these, it costs way too much for what it's worth. It's just like an okay effect. It's like, oh, lets you like levitate for half a second.
The pillow.
She says, interesting choice. How much of your health would you be willing to give up for this item?
So it's a bartering system. Ooh.
And this is like, you give up a number of HP, and it's permanently subtracted from your max health.
Like while you're in the trials, or just for now on?
Who knows?
Ooh. Does the
Well, I'm
pillow
cheap.
say I can rest easy now that I'm not in the trials of the Infinite Mind?
Yeah, boy.
Does it say like on like the little tag like get out of trials free card on it?
Or
It
made in
says,
Taiwan or
"Boy,
something.
I'm excited to take a nap now that I'm out of that place." Just kidding. It
Like,
doesn't
leave
say
your
anything. It's
friends
like
behind pillow.
it's a really nice, fluffy white pillow.
The little rock says, "I lost my marbles in the trials."
I'll give you one hit point for it.
She like kind of raises an eyebrow at that and says, "Interesting offer. Declined."
You're lost.
She says, maybe."
Those are premium hit points.
She says, "The pillow is at least worth 4 times that much."
So 4, in other words.
Yeah.
we've got a mathematician on our hands.
I mean, I don't like to brag, but
She says goblins are known for their mathematical skills.
It is the math rocks they
are
help.
we?
So there's a scale, a pillow, the rock, a doll.
Yep.
What else?
A
That's all.
5-headed
Is that it?
doll.
But yes, the doll does have 5 heads.
Hmm.
I have a theory about what the 5-headed doll is for, but I don't want to say in case I give Jesse ideas.
Nope.
Like
No.
that's not what it was, but now it will be.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty cool if I never had anything planned and you guys just always ruined your own
Holy-
selves, giving me
that'd be
ideas.
As
So
the mark
big
of a good
brain.
GM, just
Yeah.
let the players ruin themselves.
Dig their own
Holy
hole.
crap.
Yep.
It's like let them build like the worst items for themselves.
Yeah. Man, it would suck if this thing did this. Like, oh, that's what it does now.
You're like, ooh.
It's like the one thing I couldn't have right now is if I just lost 1 armor point right now.
What was
It's like,
worse?
You cannot remove this, you lose 1 armor point. No!
What's the worst is when they guess what you already planned, and then you're like, man, now I have to like
Yeah, it's
tweak
like,
it.
oh, now
because
you guys
they're
think
gonna
that
be
I'm
like,
just doing that.
oh,
Yeah.
you're just doing it
It's the
because it's
reverse.
like, no, I've planned this for weeks, you jerk.
You ruined it.
So
Alright.
Ian behind the counter begins to look over each of you like, what'll it be, folks?
If it's only 3 hit points, I'll carry that stupid doll around.
She says, only 3? Where did you get that idea?
I mean, that pillow's 4.
Who's
the
to
doll is
say?
smaller, so
Who's to say which is more valuable? The doll has
Well,
5 heads. The pillow has
well-
0 heads.
The pillow you can rest on, you can use it to land on safely. Even 2 people can sleep on it properly. A doll, that thing is actually just hideous if you look at it. It's one of the ugliest dolls I've ever seen.
it's got
I'm
at
doing
least
you
3
a favor
cement
by
heads.
taking this out of your head so you don't have to see this for 1,000 or 1,000,000 years or whatever the hell you're locked in here for. I'm actually doing you a service.
She says, fine, and snaps her fingers, and you immediately are drained of 3 hit points, and the doll is in your hand.
Hell yeah. Good doing business with you, lady.
So subtract 3 from your total HP,
Hell yeah. With pleasure.
and you now have the 5-headed rag doll.
Brutus is eyeing it like a chew toy. Just like,
I've like pulled my hand away from like one side to the other side.
he's like
just,
doing the little thing
sniffing
where
it
he
up.
kind of like prances with his front paws, like ooh ooh ooh.
No, not for you. Not for you.
Aw.
We don't know what it does.
Any other offers that I may entertain?
What was the other? A scale? What was the other thing?
Yeah, there's like a set of like bronze or brass scales, pillow, and a spherical stone like rock.
Like rock.
I mean, I feel like with the scales, I
I could just, hold things and see which is heavier.
She
that's kinda-
makes another remark about your math skills.
on how awesome they are, yeah,
Exactly.
totally are.
I gave
like
you a hit point
11
for
intelligence.
the rock. I mean, the pill is 4, so you can't sleep on a rock very well. So I'll give you a hit point for the rock.
She says, "Well, the lowest offer that I have accepted recently was 3 hit points, so it's going to be at least that."
Oh, no, it's just now.
She says, "Oh yeah, I
I
guess it
remember
was."
that. That was quite recent.
Dang it, Flack! You should have said 2. Fine, I'll give you 3 for the rock.
Before you're done speaking, she snaps, and the rock is in your hand, and you have 3 less hit points.
Is it like marble sized or like?
No, it's pretty large. It's like a shot put, like a fist sized sphere. Pretty heavy too. You when it appears in your hand, like you almost drop it because it's quite heavy, probably 15 pounds or so.
Ah.
In my inventory, it's called heavy rock.
That works.
Good luck
That'll
carrying
be-
that dead weight around.
You now have 15 less speed. Just kidding.
That'll be useful if there's like a dunk tank somewhere. in
Who?
the
I do? Or...
pyramid.
I was kidding.
Oh. I was like, what do you get for the doll?
Yeah.
He probably got infinite hugs.
Well, technically,
5
you can hug the doll as much as you want.
I get 5 hugs from Spectral Ghost.
But you can also hug the rock as much as you want.
Yeah.
Aw.
The pillow remains on the counter, and she
Did I just
asks,
invent the first pet rock?
"Yeah, oh man, you might have. This is ancient times. I'm gonna have to patent that." She holds up the pillow one more time, like almost leaning down to put it back in the counter, like.
Are we really gonna buy all these items?
Whatever.
When the one person that made it through didn't use any of them. I mean, these are obviously cursed, right? Like, come on. Like,
Well,
this is a
I'm not
terrible
putting it on.
idea.
And I mean, if you think about it, she did say the one person who made it out didn't buy anything.
Didn't buy a single one of them.
Well, then we might as well just go all in at this point. I mean, we're already screwed over, right? If these things are truly so cursed that they will burden us to the point where we cannot complete this pyramid, we might as well just buy them all and see what they do.
I'm hoping it's gonna be like a
One of us
little
probably
bit of
bought the
column
dud
A, a little
anyways.
bit of column B.
One of us
It'll
probably
help
bought
you
the
in
dud.
one room and hurt you in another room. That's
We
fine.
Very
definitely
possible.
have the dud, so let's just buy the pillow, okay? Brack, grab that pillow. Give me some of your help.
No, I give a rock. I don't need nothing else.
No, I said Brack.
He is Brack.
Oh, he used Brack? Well, I meant Grack.
Grack has been consumed by Black Razor.
He won't even give away
So
like
he
3
won't
HP.
miss his hit points.
Absolutely not.
That's what I was saying. Just tell him to grab a pillow.
He refuses to answer.
Hmm,
Is someone gonna have to
Fine.
double down?
Fine, I'll buy the pillow.
Still the scale.
There is still the scales, yeah.
Oh, right. Mm. Yeah, someone's gonna have to double down and get the scales. If we're buying all of them. Like idiots. Which, goblins. So,
That's true. Role playing.
We already went for the
Clearly.
greed move, so we gotta go all.
So
Guys,
as soon
we
as
got
you said
all in.
I'll buy the pillow, there was no turning back. She snapped her fingers.
yeah, I figured.
You're holding the pillow up to your head, and it's like extremely soft and comfortable, but you don't feel like abnormally tired or anything. But you do feel like you lost 4 hit points.
My saddle, my little warg saddle was getting a little uncomfortable, so I kind of like wedged the pillow under my butt a little bit, kind of like, ooh, this is nice.
Perfect. And behind the
worth it.
counter raises
Oh
an
man,
eyebrow
what if that's a portal?
and says, "Nice, yeah, get creative. That'll help."
If we're gonna, oh, sorry, this would be in character. If we're gonna die terribly, then at least my butt will be comfortable.
She says, "That's what I always say."
I don't want to smell your butt if that pillow ends up being our only portal out of here.
I mean, obviously the portal out of here is going to be in the coffin, right? Like, that's...
No, I don't think we're ever going to see this room again once we leave.
Well, not this room, but...
The other room, the front room, yeah. The first room.
Yeah, I mean, to get... Are you saying to get out of the temple? Is the
Yeah,
pillow?
there's probably like a back exit, or like we shoot through the top or something. We come out the bottom of the sewers like the Goonies or something.
Yeah, it's not going to be the pillow, because the
I
one
wrote the
person that
Goonies.
made it through...
You
the
guys
one
just
person
invented
who
the
made it
Goonies.
through didn't buy the pillow.
So what's missing?
We're still missing the scales.
So who has what?
I have the pillow.
Rock.
You have the
Scissors.
rock.
Nope.
I got the doll. I got that 5-headed freak.
And Black Razor uses the former body of Grak to hold up himself and say, "And I have the greatest sword in the universe."
Yeah, we know, and you're gonna destroy the world. Yeah. But come
Correct.
So you
You're not
still,
gonna help us get the HP in this room. Just be quiet and help us kill stuff in the next room, okay? Your time will come.
use
Deal.
the
Not your
skills
room.
to weigh all
Thank you.
your options.
Thank you.
I keep getting the best like mental images of like just the arm with the sword like thrusting upward while his head like lolls to the side.
That's
Like,
exactly what's
the
happening. Yeah.
rest of his body's just limp.
Every time you look over, he's
His
either
eyes
like
are rolling back.
he's either like holding up the sword like heroically, or he's using the goblin body to just like stare at the sword.
Yeah, it's almost like the sword is like holding up the body when he raises.
Yeah, he's
the
like
sword. So the rest of the body is just so limp, like even the
He's
fingers.
in love with himself.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
So, who's gonna get these? Are these punching glove thingies? What are they? Dragon scales? I don't know what these are.
No, it's like a scale where you can place something
Like
on
weighing
one side,
scales.
like a
Oh, like a
scale
literal-
for weighing things. Yeah, like a set
A
of
literal, like one of those, like in Egyptian style, I'd imagine too, because we're
Yes.
in a pyramid.
like
Oh,
if you see
okay.
a hieroglyphic of like a lady like weighing things on scales or something.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, I know
it's
exactly
one
what
of
I'm.
those.
Like if we meet Anubis and he like tears out our heart, he'd be like, "Oh, if only I had a scale to weigh against this feather." Then
Exactly.
guess we're
I don't
just
think he
dead
needs a
now.
scale to know where he's sending all of us.
That's probably accurate.
She pipes up and she says, "As your group is possibly hindered compared to the average group, I will let you split the payment if you'd like."
That's fair. What do you guys think?
Ask her how much first before you just say that.
25
21.
each.
If it's one each, you got yourself a deal, lady.
She says, "What if it's 2 each?"
2 for only me.
Deal, and it's done.
There you go. I took it off your hands, but I get to hold it.
A set of scales appears in your hand, and everyone loses 1 more hit point, except for Flack, who loses 2.
I never agreed to this.
That's why I love this lady. She makes a deal like that.
So all of the items are gone, and she kind of like dusts off the countertop really quick and disappears.
So can I ask real quick, like in that first room, in the main room,
Sure.
down towards the bottom on the walls, it looks like there's like tiny gaps. Is that intentional or?
Now, let me zoom out really quick. I don't know if you guys can see this on the stream or on your page there. That's just like the outline of the pyramid.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Got it. Word. I was like, ooh, secret tunnel.
There may or may not be those.
All right, so I think Thwack's just gonna go back into the main room and remove the lid to the sarcophagus, because obviously that's the only thing here that could be, searched for a hidden way out.
Anybody going with him?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody goes back into the main room. So tell me how you do this. You see this giant, like, stone, like, ornately carved and detailed sarcophagus. There's gold inlaid in it with the same type of hieroglyphs that were painted on the canvases in the other room.
I mean, does it look like it's just the basic big heavy thing that needs to be pushed off kind of thing, or is there like any hinges or anything like that on there that are visible?
You see, make a investigation check.
Okay. Oh God, we are rolling terribly.
Looks like a big stone coffin.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna get on one side of it and heave ho push.
Cool. Roll initiative.
Oh, I'll do it.
Sweet.
Oh dear, you're really
Hey.
struggling.
Someone rolled well at least.
That was me.
Nice.
Chewy.
I have Anne on the battle map, but she's not part of the battle. She's sitting in the chair in the corner.
She's like,
again.
"How dare you?
You touched the thing."
What else are we supposed to do?"
You didn't even have to fight this thing. What do you do? Just go to the next room. Why are you fighting this? Let's go. What are we fighting? We're just fighting the
sarcophagus. Yeah.
So,
Punch that stone.
oh yeah, I have the other goblin. Hang on one second. So you go up and you just get a firm grasp on the lid and try to shove it off. And your hands feel like they're stuck with glue.
Ah, son of a bitch.
And the lid opens up and tries to bite you.
I'm mimic another one.
First room.
How could
Oh,
you be
I'm
surprised?
I'm not. I thought of it all. I actually thought of that, but God, he went and touched it.
You're like, no way he could do that.
I thought surely he wouldn't do it already.
That's why I was pointing my spell. I was getting ready for it too.
The first thing in the place, yeah. Okay, so it tries to hit you with the old sneak attack. The bite actually misses. Somehow you're glued to the top of this thing, and it misses.
It just
you.
like lifts me up.
It does try to slam the lid shut back on top of you. What's your AC?
18.
18. Okay, that's another miss. What was everybody's roll for initiative there? 18, 4, 7. Okay. Brack, you're up. You see your friend get glued to this sarcophagus as it opens and begins to try to like chomp down.
I throw a whelm at it.
Cool.
And I fumble.
You throw this magic hammer that as soon as you throw it, the voice comes back and whispers in your mind like, "Hey, some action. I hope that we're killing some goblins today." Oh wait, oh yeah, and it whizzes by the sarcophagus and then comes back and lands in your hand.
Okay.
It's like, oh, great, some action. Wait, where are you aiming me? God, man.
Any other actions from Brack?
Yes. Debating about something. Nah, that 9's too low, so I'm gonna say no. I was gonna do the saving face, but I think that 9's too low. I would still miss it. Well, let me see what it says here. Hold on. That would give me a +3. Nope, I'm not using it. That's it for me.
Okay. Over to, let's see. The first thing was surprise round, 18. So it's back to the mimic, and it's going to try to clamp down again on Thwack.
Wait, did Grack get to go?
So you guys all rolled lower than its initiative. So
Oh,
like the first time that it bit down was a surprise round, and then the regular round started with the 18.
Totally.
All right, this one, that's an 18, so that's good to hit. Tries to slam the door shut, not quite biting you with its teeth, just trying to hit you with the stone of the lid. Takes 7 bludgeoning damage.
That's me.
Yep.
Okay.
And it hops and stays kind of clamped onto you, but just hops and repositions itself on the side. And then it's over to Black Razor, who walks up and tries to just slice it with himself. He hits. He does another 10 damage. And then it's over to Thwack. No, wait, nope. Flack. It's you.
Okay. I'm just going to take 2 steps back
Okay.
and then throw a firebolt.
Cool. Yeah, go for it.
So that's your boy. I do have to. Oh man, it's been so long since I played a spellcaster.
I know, right?
Hey guys, I forgot how to cast my spells. Hold on a second.
So Firebolt is a cantrip, so you don't have to use any spell slots or anything for that.
So do I have to roll to hit? Like, do I have to?
Yep.
Like, what am I rolling against?
Nothing. It's just like a spell attack. Like if you would attack with Chad's axe, it's just like that, but with your spell attack. So just click on Firebolt or whatever in your... There you go. So you rolled an 8, so that misses.
All right, I'm done.
Over to Thwack now.
All right.
Your hands are sticky glued to the surface of this thing, but you can pull them away and use actions.
Yeah, let's try to get unsticked.
Cool. Yeah, you are.
Okay. Then I will attack it.
Sure. Roll away.
Let's see. Let's use a quarterstaff. Oh no, I didn't make. Oh.
10?
10.
That's gonna be a miss.
Yeah.
Any bonus actions, anything like that?
Oh wait, I get 2 attacks because
Paladin.
yeah.
18, that'll hit. All right, roll your damage.
Sweet. So I'm only using one hand. 6.
Cool. You smack this thing and you see a crack appear on the top of the sarcophagus lid.
Sweet. Serves it right.
Back to Breck. Back to Breck.
All right.
Does Brutus get to attack?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't think I have a stat block for him yet, but I can look him up real quick.
Sure. We'll just assume he'll go after Brack this time, so Brack, you can take your turn.
Okay. Just checking the. So I need to back up. I want to back up 2 spaces.
Okay.
Oh, and then I'm going to. What size is this creature?
Large.
Would that be giant size?
No.
Okay. I didn't know what giant was considered large or what. That's why I was asking.
I think is giant not its own?
I don't know.
Because there's like small, medium, large, giant, huge,
Okay.
monstrous.
That's fine.
Gargantuan, I think, is one of them.
The reason I was asking, Whelm does another D8 to that
No,
giant
giant-
size.
Oh, okay.
Giant isn't one of the size categories.
It's not? Okay, so it would be like, yeah, sure, let's say large or bigger. That's fine. 27, holy cow, yeah, that's a hit.
So it does. You said I have to roll a D8 by itself because I don't have that in.
That's fine. 19 total.
Nope.
Oh,
I
plus
threw
the
it.
6, right?
Thrown.
So 25 total?
Yeah.
That weapon is so busted. Sweet. Yeah, so you throw the hammer of the gods and just absolutely obliterate the lid. It just cracks in half and falls off. And you see the mimic sarcophagus on the inside. You see the mouth and stuff, but the actual like bed of the sarcophagus lays empty. And the teeth are just gnashing around inside. And it appears to still be trying to attack. Any other actions from you?
No, that's it.
Okay. It does try to attack, and this time it turns its attention towards Black Razor, who attacked it on the side there, and it's being kind of closed in upon, so it tries to bite. Misses, and tries to kind of push itself and do like a shoving, bludgeoning attack as well. Nat 20 on Black Razor. Alright. Does 18 damage to him. And it is going to be full axe turn.
All right, let's try this again. Oof.
Swing and a miss, unfortunately.
I tried, guys. You got it. Keep going.
Over to Thwack.
All right. I'm going to.
You guys are just getting your bad rolls out of the way at the beginning.
Yeah, that's.
Yes.
It's the first room. Good.
Right.
Better here than the other room.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to smack it again with the quarterstaff.
Cool.
Looks like I might have hit it once.
16 hits. Yep.
Okay. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Where's my... Oh, yeah, that's right. 3 damage.
All right, you this time like jam the quarterstaff down into it, and you like break off some of the teeth, and it's like bleeding this green blood all over the place, and it seems like it's pretty weakened. Brutus attack.
Gross. Yep. Just finishing that up. Oh, that's okay. 9 to hit.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
So if he attacks, he also knocks prone.
They have a save effect.
Cool.
I'm just trying to get that.
If
So it
so, if
doesn't
he
show
hits,
up
they
like
have to
that.
save against something, and then they get knocked prone.
Yeah, it's a DC 13 strength save.
Cool. Anything else from Thwack and Brutus?
I don't think so.
All right, over to. Oh yeah, Black Razor again. Miss and a miss. I keep wanting to call you Chewy.
Sorry,
Brack.
I'll change that.
No, you're good. It's just from running the other game. Brack, you're a go. It's just been a long time since we've done the goblins. I'm super excited to be doing this again. It's a lot of fun.
Okay. Yep. That's Warhammer again.
Okay.
Oh, well, that one didn't work out.
Whizzes by again. And the sarcophagus gets another chance to strike. This time it will attack Thwack, now that it's being double teamed by a paladin and his mount. 22 to hit on the bite and 13 on the slam. So, assuming the bite hits.
Yep, but the slam doesn't.
Right. Take 7 plus take 4 acid damage. 11 total.
Okay.
And then it's over to Flack.
All right. This one is third time's the charm. Let's go.
That's right. With the 20, and you can roll your damage, and this thing is definitely incinerated. Yes. The sarcophagus just crumbles into dust, and the kind of looks like a pile of the other sandstone and like sandy dust that's sitting around in the area, and it just absolutely is obliterated. And you get back to the main hall here, and the sarcophagus is destroyed and reveals a little passageway underneath it. These stairs reveal themselves going down.
Woohoo! One shot, one kill.
That's right. And Anne
Only one shot.
Anne speaks up and says, now your trials will officially begin. Let's see. She says, you must take the stairs all the way down to the basement and then begin the dangerous excursion to the top of the pyramid from the inside. The next room will seal you in and seal your fate into the trials.
All right, so Anne, where do you sleep? I think I'd stay here as you.
She says, well, I used to have a pillow, but someone bought it.
I guess you'll just have to come along with us to be able to use the pillow.
Yep.
She says,
Come on, Anne.
this is your last chance to visit the information center or the gift shop before departing on the trials. But don't worry, I will be your guide through the entire pyramid. And then she disappears.
Well, she only said one thing in the information place, so I don't think there's anything left for us here to do. We even killed the one other thing that made this room any different than just a square of sand.
You're welcome to investigate or check everything out or do whatever you want.
Hey, you guys want to like shake our toys and see if something happens?
Like checking the pillowcase or something.
Yeah, like everyone just inspect their items and just try
Yeah,
and
sure.
activate them or something.
Might as well.
Everybody
before we
make a Arcana check on all of your items.
Oh dear. Let's see.
All right, this will be for the scale.
Yeah, this ain't go.
Oof.
Nice.
this-
Hey, 18 on the pillow.
8
I
on the
got-
rock.
I got 8 on the scale, and for the doll, I got a 7.
Okay. You guys are not rolling very well today.
No, we're not.
So the scale, Flack, you inspect it. It appears to just be a mundane, non-magical set of like a bronze scale for weighing goods, traditionally used to compare coins back in the day to make sure that nobody was like counterfeiting and that both coins were of equal weight of precious metals or whatnot. And you don't see anything too special about it. When you observe the what else did you have? The doll?
The 5-headed freak baby.
You see that it's pretty poorly sewn together, but you don't see the inside at all. Like there's no holes or anything in it. The seams, like it looks like it's super ragged and stuff, but you can't actually see any like holes or damage in it. It just looks bad. And it has 5 heads that are sewn onto one main body.
I'm casting a spell.
Okay. Thwack, when you look at the pillow, it appears to have like a silky surface to it, and like pressing your head up against it, you feel very calm and soothed.
Ooh,
Brack, what spell would you like to cast?
it's nice.
Identify. Okay.
I want to identify my rock.
Okay. When you cast Identify on the rock, it disappears and appears in your other hand.
Buh.
And that's all that happens. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. So
Yeah.
you learned that some type of portal or teleport spell affected the rock. And you learn if the item was created by a spell. It was not. It's a naturally carved stone. And it is not inherently magical.
Oh,
Anytime you try to inspect the rock, it disappears
Yeah.
and appears in the other hand.
okay. I'll quit looking at it.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's not like it's harmful or anything like that. Like, just if you hold it out and look at it, it will just be in your other hand.
Yeah, but in case it has charges, I didn't want to use them all up. whatever it's
Sure.
doing.
Okay.
Put it in my backpack.
Okay.
Do the rest of us see this happening?
Yeah.
Like I said, be like, dude, you could use that as a con. You could play the cup games and make so much money.
It's probably true.
Who says like you can in some sort of far off distant future? Why can't we use that to swindle some weird crooks and goblins and I mean we're goblins, but some weird things in these caves?
And you want to
Oh,
gamble?
colorful. Do we have any like cups
Actually.
to do the
No.
cup and ball swindle?
We got a pillow and ball, but we only have one pillow. Guess which pillow, and then they'll guess, and there's nothing under the pillow.
You guys are
Like,
genius
we're just really
businessmen.
bad at it. It's like, aren't there supposed to be 3? No, shh. It'll be easy money, and then it teleports into your hand, and they kill you for lying to them.
Yo, I'm curious of something. Can you put your ball on my scale?
It's a little personal.
I'm just asking a simple question, man. Can you do it or not? Yes or no?
Phrasing.
I can do it, but I think I'd rather not.
I just want to see something.
Are you trying to like
Yeah.
bird
I want to weigh something.
balls?
Put the ball on the scale. Just for
Okay.
1 second. Humor
Just
me.
one of them?
They're heavy, trust me.
Okay. I'm going to put the doll on the other side. I'd be very surprised if the doll somehow became heavier.
So
I'll
you
put
guys,
the rock on the other side.
you put the rock on one side and the doll on the other.
Yes.
The rock
like-
is way heavier.
Okay.
Well, luckily
all
things
that.
appear as they seem so far in this horrible maze of nightmares.
Physics still works.
For now. So you can have your ball back. And I will just be haunted by what this 5-headed baby has in store for me.
Good.
Probably good things.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably literally never
Totally.
find out.
Good things.
I like that you guys like came to your own conclusion that you might have got cursed items, but you still like traded permanent HP for them. That's some real goblin bargaining right there.
Hey,
But I'm not
Yeah, like
confirming or denying that there's any sort of cursed items.
Gobbo's got a gobbo.
That's right. The intercom in the building, you now notice there's this intercom system, and you hear Anne's voice from the distance, like coming out of the room somewhere, and you hear, "The gift shop is closing in 5 minutes."
Well, there's nothing left to buy in the gift shop. I don't see why it just closed right away.
I'd assume it'd be closed for good. Also, was that intercom always there? Did you guys notice that?
The information center will be closing in 5 minutes.
Not the information center. What if we need information?
What if we need her to repeat the same line over and over again?
I'll run back to the information. What else you got for us?
There's nobody in there.
Inform us.
Why would the last information they give us about the information center to tell us that it's about to close just to let us know that nobody's there? My God, this place really needs a manager. Like what?
Anne is really falling down at her job right now.
Yeah.
She's
I
putting a
think
lot
she
of
just
effort
has to
in.
do everything. I think she just has all the pressure of doing all the things in one. She needs to split her job up between 2 people. Clearly.
You
Are you
guys
volunteering?
should run the
she's
place.
there's clearly triplets though, right? Like, was her name tag
No.
like subtly different spellings of Anne? Like,
Not
She
as
wouldn't
far
look
as
that
you know.
bored. She wouldn't look that bored. She'd just be more like pissed off at her sister or something. So, I guess we go down since now that we know nothing new.
Yeah. Yes, so.
Okay. You descend the staircase that was revealed after the killing of the sarcophagus mimic.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and use lay on hands to heal myself back up.
Okay, let's take care of that first.
Might as well.
So lay on hands, for everyone that doesn't know, paladins have like a set pool of HP that they can draw from to heal themselves or allies. How big is that HP pool for you right now?
35.
Cool. How much of that are you using?
How much am I down? Let's see. 18.
Cool. And remember, your maximum health is reduced.
Yes, I know.
All right. So you all descend the stairs, and it goes down quite a ways, like a few 100 feet down, probably, like Anne said, towards the basement of the pyramid before you have to make the excursion through the dungeon of the pyramid back to the top to reach the goal at the end. And you get to the bottom floor all the way down the stairs, and you reach this very small hollowed out room. And in the center of this room, you enter, and the door from the staircase immediately seals behind you. You see in the center in the floor, there's a large statue on a circular pad, and this pad seems to be glowing from the rim, like a big glowing circle carved out of the floor with the statue in the center of it. And this statue almost looks demonic in form. It is two like demonic like bat wings, and let me see. Let me see if I have like a really nice description of it. Probably not. It appears to be some type of winged demon with cracks, and it has two broken horns and the bat wings, and it's standing in like a praying pose, but it's holding a basin in its hands, like a large bowl, and it's in the center of this kind of glowing circular pad. And as soon as you get in, the voice magically appears through the intercom, and this time it actually seems like it's coming out of the statue's mouth, but it's the same voice that you've heard before. And it explains, the first of tests to reach the top requires blood, not just a drop. Choose carefully who makes the cut, choose not at all, and the door stays shut. And then you hear some mumbling in the background on the intercom, and you hear a voice that you haven't heard before say like, Anne, be more enthusiastic. And then Anne just mumbles and says like, I hate this part, maybe next time. And the intercom kind of crackles out, and the statue's mouth closes. And then this
Anne does have a manager.
Yeah.
As soon as the statue's mouth closes and the door seals shut behind you, a strange green mist encases the room, and the voice comes back. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, from now on in the trials, your magic items will be disabled. They will still count as magic items for any, damage or overcoming resistances, like any enemy that would be resistant to non-magical attacks. So they still count as magic items, but no magic items have any magical effects other than their attacks anymore. And as soon as that mist encases the room, Black Razor drops dead. And there's just the sword clangs onto the floor, no longer doing anything, and the body of Grak is just a lump on the floor.
Uh-oh. Wait, does that mean your hammer doesn't work?
You try to talk to Whelm, and there's no voice or response or anything.
So I'm gonna throw it. Does it come back to me?
Where do you throw it?
Just a few feet away from me.
It lands a few feet away and lands on the floor.
I go pick it up.
Okay.
Wait.
So it's still going to count as, a +3 hammer. So it's still the weapon that it was, but it no longer has any sort of extra magical effects.
But it still does the extra damage from the +3.
Correct.
Okay.
Hey, wait, Brack. When you identified your ball thingy, was it showing any magical properties at all?
Yeah, was it?
No,
it wasn't.
It was not inherently magical itself.
Well, then maybe these are the key to getting through this. At least maybe easier, because I guess maybe it's for people who need, like us, who needed a crutch through items to get through most of our dungeons, that this is like something that we can purchase if we know smartly, like which people can lose which amount of health, and now we can use these items.
Try out your little magic trick with your rock now. See if that still works.
Okay. Take out my rock and look at it.
Yeah, same thing. It disappears and appears in the other hand.
See, it's not magical, but magic things are happening. So these items
Work.
will be our gatekeep.
Hey.
So I'm noticing a recurring theme of this pyramid being that our health is a very, very finite resource that we have to continuously spend. And then the only other thing that we're used to is combat, which also makes us spend health as a resource. So we're going to
does
have to
that
be
mean-
really, really careful about how we approach this room in particular.
But what I'm asking is, do spells not work now?
They still do.
Oh, okay.
It's just magic items.
Okay.
Yep.
So, first of all, does anyone have any rope?
I'm pretty sure I do.
Because I figure we will tie. What's his name? That was being dragged along by the sword.
He's essentially just Black Razor. The soul of Grak is destroyed and never to return.
Yeah, I got a
was
50-foot.
consumed long ago.
We'll go ahead and tie Grak to the back of Brutus.
Just drag him along.
Okay.
Yeah, because I figure Black Razor will want his empty shell of a body back
That's fine.
after we get out of here. And in the meantime, I'm totally going to use Black Razor as +3 sword.
Deal. So I'm just going to take the body of Grek off of the map. If you guys come up with some use that you want to use this body for, feel free. Let me know.
Unless
I'll put it
someone
back.
else wants to use Black Razor.
No, not unless we could spill his blood in the bowl still.
Oh, well, I'm totally gonna. Yeah, I figure that's what we're gonna do is use crack
Just
as
a
ours.
little. He doesn't need it all. He's sleeping.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
We'll bandage him up. That's what the rope is for.
We'll give him another soul if he needs it. Just not ours.
So you look at the basin, and inside of it, a rusted iron dagger that is stained red is set inside the basin that the demonic statue is holding.
Make a note to give Grak some tetanus shots when we get out of here.
Yeah, literally everyone must have done this, who's gone through here. Because it's not even like you had to do anything to get here other than kill a mimic, which everyone must have to get to go into any dungeon.
Just
So
how many mimics do they have?
I mean, probably there's I'd
Couple
say 100 per person.
Like,
So more than
there's-
their actual real chests in the world. Nobody think about who actually makes chests and puts it in the back of a dungeon. This is where I'm gonna put this, and then just they just leave it. How often is that gonna happen? And they're not gonna come back.
Right.
So most chests are probably mimics.
Also, someone else can touch the statue and get eaten by the giant demon statue mimic.
Yeah. So literally
Malcolm
everyone
has
who's
fun
gone
with
through
that.
here has slashed their hand on that thing. So I don't want to share blood with that. I catch some disease.
The intercom sounds again and says, would you like me to repeat the trial?
Why can't this be the last trial? This would be so much easier if it was the last trial and you know it.
This is the first trial.
Yeah.
I
And you
don't
did that.
think the point is to make it an easy trial. Yes, it would be easier if this was the last one, which
Then
is
what's
why
the point
it's
of the
not.
trial at all? If it would be too hard.
The intercom sounds again and says, fun fact, only 5% of challengers make it past the first floor.
Make it past here.
Did you say you were going to cut Flack and let him bleed?
The was this Grak? The
Grak
Black
is
Razor
the
guy.
body that Black Razor
Yeah,
was using.
I meant Grak.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was like, what?
What'd I do?
You guys can
Little
try.
Violet.
Because Yeah, let's have her repeat the thing. It's something about cutting and bleeding
And not just a drop will work.
and not just a drop. Yeah.
Okay. The first of tests to reach the top requires blood, not just a drop. Choose carefully who makes the cut. Choose not at all, and the door stays shut.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, if it was like a statue of something like that represented something more like holy or something, then maybe it's like, oh, we have to choose the one person who's like worthy or whatever the hell. But like, this is just some like demon dragon. So like, if anyone's gonna be like worthy for this thing, I think it would be like it would appreciate this blood that's been touched by a black razor. It'd be like, holy shit, what the hell is this stuff?
Some good stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
Some tasty blood.
Plus, we don't lose a drop. Let's give it
I
a
mean,
shot, guys.
Is Grak like basically a corpse right now? Like, or is he
Basically, right?
like actually still?
Super dead.
Yeah, he's basically
Oh.
just a husk.
So I didn't.
Mm,
I was assuming also that he just took over his body.
Yeah, so it was just like now he's like Giga Husk.
So he like
Okay.
as soon as you guys completed Black Plume Mountain or White Plume Mountain and got Black Razor and Grak like touched the sword, he was dead. Black Razor
Yeah,
like
his soul got
consumed
consumed.
his soul and he's super toast, and Black Razor was essentially just using that body as like a vessel for his evil. But his helpful evil.
He still had he somewhat had like a soft spot for us in our quest
Yeah.
for whatever.
And
reason.
because you were carrying his his like sister weapons.
Oh yeah, true.
Is helpful evil his alignment?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Not,
like
not lawful or chaotic, just helpful evil.
annoyingly helpful evil.
So I'm thinking Greg probably won't work
Yeah.
since he's dead.
But I mean, blood still exists on a corpse.
Yeah,
Congealed
but
blood.
the riddle said to choose carefully, so I'm concerned that
Well, then, if you're so
choose,
concerned, then Dad, you give your blood,
um,
Mister Big Idea.
I'm thinking that's probably what's going to have to happen because
Well,
I'm
then
the,
just do it. Just stop talking about it. Why are you telling us? Just do it. We're
I'm
not
the
doing
only
it. We're
one
not
here
gonna...
immune to disease.
That is good. That's a good point.
Well, then you're not making. You're just digging your hole for yourself, buddy.
yeah, I pick up the knife and
All right, roll
I
one
can't
hit
look.
die.
roll a hit die.
Yep.
I got a bad feeling.
That's my hit
Ow.
die plus my con.
Yeah, so subtract the con, so just 5.
So 5.
So -5 permanent total HP.
Oh. I had a
And
feeling that's what was going to happen.
you grab this rusted iron dagger and bring it across your hand, I assume. I don't know where you're slicing your hand, your arm.
Probably just a hand.
So you do that, and the blood like interacts with this rusted dagger in a really strange way. It like seems to like pool up in your hand before just forming into like one big blood red drop and falls into the basin, and it just ripples out across the basin, and then that glowing like circle in the center of the room lights up immensely and begins to shake, and you can see that the center circular pad in the middle of the room appears to be an elevator, and it starts to like slowly move upward, and you all need to make sure that you're standing on it.
All right.
Oh, get on, everybody.
And the intercom comes back.
I jump on.
All right, you're all on the elevator, and it moves up to the next floor. The intercom comes up and says, let's see. It says, the first and main floor of the pyramid. Only 5% of challengers complete this process. Please begin by entering through the western door. and you're in a square sandstone room again that the center elevator has kind of positioned itself and locked in place. To the west, there's a door that slides up and open, and then to your east, there is a sealed and locked door. And the western door opens into a hallway that you can see turns a corner.
Now, we just left the first floor, right? So 5% make it as far as we are now.
No, you left the entrance, and then now you're on the, I guess, the second floor, or this is the main floor of the pyramid. If I said first floor, I meant second floor.
Okay, so only 5% make it past this floor that we're on now.
As far as you know from what the intercom said.
So, if only 5% of people make it past this, how much you want to bet that
The
those
only 5%. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the only
95% go
5%
down
was the
that
guy.
hallway.
No, I just thought it was like the 5%. Like there wasn't actually many people here, and the 5% was only that one guy. He was the only guy, and there's like 8 more floors, and he did them all. But like nobody passed this floor because this was
That's also possible.
Treacherously hard.
But I'm thinking it's because the other 95% of suckers go down the hallway she just told us to go down, and only 5% actually tried to pick the lock on the other door.
Awesome. But who knows how to pick a lock?
I don't know.
And I also don't know. Maybe this doll can help. I look at the doll in the eyes and I shake it. I shake it like very violently, like help us now, do something.
Make a dexterity check.
Oh
dear.
15.
You violently shake the doll and one of the heads pops off.
No.
And 2
What have you
more grow
done?
back in its place.
Oh, it's a Hydra doll.
Hydra baby. Hydra baby.
I knew it.
I still don't really know what it does, but I like it. I'm not gonna do this much more because
This is what I was predicting. This is what I was predicting at the very beginning.
Oh, really?
Build your
That's
decks.
awesome.
That it was going to be a baby Hydra's doll.
So this is the best timeline. Awesome.
Wonder what would have happened if you failed your decks.
Okay.
It wouldn't rip off. I don't know.
Two heads would grow on you.
One of the doll heads would just grow on my shoulder.
All right, so the doll is a Hydra doll. The rock disappears when you look at it. It's like a quantum entanglement thing.
Yeah.
It's a Heisenberg rock. All right.
Sorcerer's Stone.
Pillow fight.
The pillow makes you calm when you lay your head on it.
What
You didn't have to tell me that, buddy. I already knew.
It's a very nice pillow.
Maybe if it's full of feathers, maybe it's a pillow.
Yeah, like what kind of feathers?
Probably chickens. They don't fly.
It's just like a sack of potatoes. We don't even know what this scale even measures, or if it's literally just a scale. Maybe I can scale the. How do we? I don't know. How do we open this locked door, guys?
The intercom comes back and says, "Please begin through the door to the west."
Is there like a mute option?
And you hear the voice of Anne come back and says, "Unfortunately, no. Believe me, I wish I didn't have to do this. I've been doing this for thousands of years."
Oh, well, I'm sorry, and thanks for that information. You can go back to wherever you were. You don't have to, like, look at us when
She
you talk
says,
to us.
"Believe
You
me,
go back to
I
the
do."
intercom. Okay, well,
Back
You
to your
must complete the
intercom.
trials on each floor to
Oh,
proceed to the
yeah,
next
yes,
one.
we know. You said that several times. You can go back to the intercom now, and we can communicate through that. That seems to work. Okay.
Now, is this a new statue?
It's the same one that was on the elevator.
We rose
Okay.
with it.
Oh, okay.
All right, I guess we'll just go to the west since we don't have a thief.
Well, anybody can try to pick a lock.
Does anyone have a lockpick kit or just a single lockpick?
Thieves' tools.
No.
I have a Smith's tools, but I have a hammer too.
Hey, you guys do have weapons.
I got some rope
It's true.
and I got an herbalism kit.
We can try to pick it with Black Razor.
I maybe got some herbs that are sharp.
Sharp herbs.
It's gonna be like sharp stems or something that I can use to just pick the lock in my herbalism kit.
I do have a disguise kit. I imagine there's probably like some needles and stuff in there. Might be able to use in a pinch.
Yeah, I want to attempt to use my herbalism kit to unlock the door.
Like some tweezers and like...
You guys can do whatever you want, yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going for it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
What are you doing with your herbalism kit to try
Well,
to
first
unlock
I'm
this
gonna
door?
unpack
Also,
it and just look at all the stuff.
okay.
And then look for like what looks like the hardest stuff and the stuff that's the most sturdy and won't bend as soon as it touches something.
Sure.
And then either try and like twist and tie it together, or just like kind of use like a needle and like a hard stem
So
tied
first,
together.
make
like
an investigation check
Skyrim it.
on the door.
First, can we assume that we've actually tried the door to see if it actually is locked?
Have any of you looked at the door?
Investigation?
I will check it.
Okay.
I will check the door.
Anyone who wants to, you can make an investigation check on the door.
Okay. I got a 4.
Oh my god.
Is it a door that is locked?
There is a door here.
Are you sure?
There's a door that has a lock thingy on it. So
I'm
we're
not
gonna
very
try and
sure.
unlock it
Oh my
without
God.
checking.
I think it's a wall.
A 4, a 2, and a
Oh,
4. So it's not that your low investigation scores, like, it's not like you guys are confused about what it is. You just don't find anything like particularly special about it. How many of you guys have played GoldenEye, the N64 James Bond game?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the map Temple, and the doors in that were like just giant like cubes of stone that were just like pillars that went up and down?
Vaguely, yeah.
So that's kind of what these doors are. Like they're just like sandstone blocks that just move up and down.
Oh yeah.
Right now it's in the down position. There's no keyhole or anything on this door.
Typical ancient Egyptian trapdoor walls. Impossible to open and impossible to know when they close or open again. We literally are just at the whims of this nightmare labyrinth. Let's just go on with it.
I like very obviously like purposefully like lean against the wall next to the door, hoping that I do the old like
Like spin through the
happen
wall
to
thing.
we'll just like happen to push against the secret like stone that opens the door. Like, oh well, can't go this way. Oh my god, the door is opening.
Trying to be shaggy,
it's-
huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
Ah. I like as I'm doing that, I like move my hand like several different ways. It's like still leaning over. Just
You guys look and feel around and stuff. There doesn't seem to be any like switches or buttons that you can press into the wall or anything.
All right, let's go the way the stupid voice told us to go.
You hear the voice come back over the intercom and say, "Thank you. Please proceed through the door on your west."
You're welcome, man.
We're probably going to go around and come right back out.
Yeah.
So you enter, and oh yeah, I'm using the wrong models here. Hang on.
Mhm.
Let me get the correct. There we go.
I'm huge. Oh.
Get this all set up quickly. So you enter into this next corridor, and
I mean, I keep looking at the like T-pose goblin, thinking that's the Black Razor goblin.
that's Flack. And
Yeah.
as soon as you enter into this corridor, you see the like sandstone pillar door close behind you and
Oh.
seal you into this corridor. And you get in here, and you're at the base of a ramp. You are pretty much at the beginning of what looks like a ramp that leads much higher up in elevation. Like it's just like a sturdy, like smooth, no stairs or anything, just a ramp that goes straight up at like a 45-degree angle, and it's about 150 feet long, this hallway. Then the ramp goes up, and then it turns like back in to the east. And as soon as you enter and the door seals behind you and you look up and you see this ramp in front of you, a portal appears at the end of the hallway, and this giant boulder pops out of the portal and starts rolling down the ramp. And
Indiana Jones.
I need y'all to roll initiative.
Typical ancient Egyptian trapdoors. I told you.
And typical ancient Egyptian trap boulders.
Typical ancient Egyptian sloped grounds with trap boulders.
That's just everyday stuff.
It's a classic.
I mean, if you don't see it on the first floor, when are you gonna see it?
So I need you all to make a strength saving throw for me.
Strength saving. Oh, and everybody gets advantage because I have my aura of protection. So if you're within 10 feet of me and you have to make a saving throw, oh no, sorry, it's not advantage. You get a bonus equal to my charisma modifier,
Which is
3.
very nice.
Pog.
So everyone gets
20.
plus 3. So 22, 20, and 26. All right.
6.
So
Nice.
you all take half damage from this, which
So we push the
1
boulder
second.
off as it lands on us. We're just... So it only takes half damage.
let me.
So use our strength, right?
Can we just do a Chris Redfield and just punch the boulder? And
Yeah, we didn't use our dexterity. We were like,
So
we
the
like
way-
man-moded it.
I'm gonna have to like meta explain this because it's a complex trap, and it's like a trap with initiative. If you guys have seen that in the Dungeon Master's Guide or anything like that. So on initiative count of 20, at the top of each round of initiative, this boulder appears through this portal, rolls down the slope, and then it rolls over you, and then a portal appears at the last moment before it crashes into the wall, and it disappears. And then at 20, the boulder reappears at the top of the slope.
I knew it was gonna do that.
So
I'm running up the
So
slope.
if we
That's
destroy the
something.
boulder, it might not come back.
So 20 happens. You guys all passed your saves, so you all take 1 second here. You all take 7 bludgeoning damage.
And I'm running.
7 is half.
Yeah.
All right.
So 20 happened. Next initiative is 9, which is Thwack. So your turn.
Yeah, Brutus has a 50 feet move, so
Okay. And remember,
we're
this
sprinting up that.
hallway is roughly 150 feet long. Like, don't be thrown off by however many squares are on the overland map here. So you can move
Alright.
roughly 1/3 of the hallway here.
Well, I figure he can double move, right?
Oh,
So-
sure. Yeah, if you have sprint.
2/3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can move to about 2/3 of the way down. Next initiative.
See you guys. Bye.
Next
Yeah.
initiative is 8, which is Flack.
I want to try something here.
Okay.
Can I, like,
because it ends its turn going through a portal.
Mm-hmm.
Like it ends the round, like the round ends and it goes through the portal. So like at some point, I want to see if I can land like a shatter on the boulder.
Okay. So you want to just like ready your action to cast shatter, like right on the
Yeah,
boulder?
like I'll focus like on a point and then wait for the boulder to roll into it next, and then cast shatter and hopefully crush it.
Sure. Yeah. So you can like delay your action to cast that on the boulder's turn. That's fine. Do you want to move or anything still on your turn?
Yeah, I'll also move.
Okay. Where would you like to move to?
I guess just like 3 up.
Like
I'm gonna
your
dash.
full movement speed towards the other side?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how far exactly that will be. Like, it's not exactly a certain number
Yeah,
of
because it's
feet per
100.
squares.
So yeah, probably 2 is with my full speed.
Brack, you're just
I want
running for it,
to.
or
I want to dash. Yeah. I
okay?
wanna run.
So I'll let you move about double. Anything else?
Nope. I don't know what else to do.
All right.
Yeah, and since everyone's in front of me, I'll be casting it obviously as it passes me.
Okay. So
So if the hallway is 150 feet long, then each of those squares is 15 feet.
So yeah.
okay. So 2 squares was correct for 30 feet of movement. Awesome.
Yeah, and quick maths.
Yeah. So initiative count 20 happens again next round. The boulder appears from the portal at the top of the ramp, and it seems to be gaining momentum and going a little bit faster this time. Everybody make a strength saving throw, please.
It's faster. It might be the same boulder, guys. I think I can hit it.
Hey.
Another 23. Very nice.
And then I get the bonus or whatever.
You're not within 10 feet of him.
Oh yeah, that's true. We have to be touching.
I'm not in 10 feet either. Darn it.
Oh, you rolled. You got a 12. Okay, so Brack, you failed. Flack and Thwack, you both passed, so you take half damage. So Brack, take 14.
Oh man.
And everyone else takes 7.
Yep.
And Thwack, or not Thwack, Flack, go ahead and cast your Shatter. Does it need to make a save, or is that a spell attack?
It just says DC 14.
Okay, so it needs to make a save. So
it says a creature made of inorganic material such as stone, crystal, or metal has a disadvantage on the saving throw.
Right. So
That's for creatures, isn't it? Just automatically.
I mean, it's a stone
I was just gonna
anyway,
say, yeah,
so why
it
wouldn't
can't fail. It can't like succeed a save. It just gets hit. So
well, then it just nuked.
it automatically gets hit. So do you roll your damage for Shatter?
Sweet. Cool.
Nice
That's
rolls.
a failed one. Yeah, I know that's
so.
That's how much.
You blast this thing, and like some little shards of rock like blast out from the inside, and it wobbles a little bit and like kind of bangs into the edges of the corridor as it goes down, and like almost starts to like pinball, and then it goes through the portal at the end of the hallway.
I missed. I chipped the edge.
It is Thwack, your turn.
Whose turn is it?
Thwack.
Okay.
You still there?
I am.
Pickle deer? He may have disconnected or something. We'll give it a minute.
Vampire, you still here?
No, I didn't make it.
He just said in the chat, my mic is acting up. Cool. Yeah, we'll give it a minute. No problem. Take a short rest from the game here. What do you guys think of the dungeon so far? It's kind of silly and all over the place, but
I'm expecting as soon as we get to the top of this, we reach that room to the side, and it's gonna be like another like thing where it's like 3 selections, and they're all gonna be like bowls, and it's like, how much blood are you gonna give?
Well, the first thing I think of is Indiana Jones, and I wish I had my Goblin Jonesy.
Yeah, your new Goblin Paladin that has a whip and the Indiana Jones hat and stuff. That's super cool. Yeah, I definitely was thinking kind of Indiana Jones vibes with this. Both the first movie with the boulder and stuff, and Temple of Doom with the Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yep.
Welcome back. Can hear you
Okay.
loud and clear. So it is your turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna just try to use my movement to get the rest of the way up and look for a way to disable the boulder.
Okay, so you get all the way to the end, and where the exit is blocked by a shut sandstone pillar, but where the portal appears at the beginning of each round, you do see some of those like hieroglyph runes kind of inscribed into the wall in the shape of the portal, and they're like glowing this blue magical color.
All right, I will try to like scratch the runes off and try to break the circle.
Okay, make an Arcana check for me.
Mm,
12. Okay,
12.
you see like this. There's probably like 30 of these runes inscribed in like this oval portal shape, and you start trying to like scratch them out and cancel out the magical effects, and you start to feel like you are having a little bit of success with that, and some of the runes get scratched out and the magical color fades a little bit out of them. Who was next? Was that
Also,
Brack?
I'm gonna try to just be out of the way, as like squeeze to the side as much as possible in case it doesn't like
Sure.
work. Like I don't want to
So
get hit by the boulder again.
that I'll just consider that you're like taking the dodge action like you could in combat. So for your next saving throw against this thing, you will get a bonus if you try to like squeeze against the wall.
That works.
Next up, Brack.
Help. I don't see nothing I can do except dash. Do my movement and dash both.
Okay. You make it all the way to right next to Thwack up at the top of the ramp.
I see what he's doing, and I try the same thing.
Okay, you're close enough. I'll say like you can try to make an Arcana check to assist, or do you want to like squeeze out of the way?
Well, I can do it. I'll try an Arcana check first, but squeezing out of the way sounds good too.
Okay.
Oh, nope.
So you don't find as much success trying to like scratch out the runes in time, and then you just like hurry and press yourself up against the wall. Flack, what would you like to do? Did we lose another one?
Oh, I muted myself. Hello, everybody. I'm going to repeat myself again, but not to myself this time. I have literally no other option at this point to just run my ass off, double dash, just sprint
Okay.
as far as I can forward. Just go.
Boom.
Yeet.
All right.
Close that portal, boys. It's gonna pop it right in front of my face.
All right, and the portal appears, and it seems to be a little shakier and less stable this time. But the boulder kind of hobbles through it, and it's going rather slow this time after being shattered, and its magic seems to be being messed with a little bit. So everyone make a strength save.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm working on it. There we go.
Cool. So Thwack and Brack, you guys have the bonus from like shoving yourselves to the side and squeezing out of the way, and the aura of protection. So this time it narrowly passes you by, and you just get like slightly compressed by the boulder, but not quite like rolled over this time. Flack, you dodge out of the way, but it does kind of like catch on you and bash into you a little bit. So you
It spawned like right above my toe, so it was like unavoidable, and then
Yeah.
I just like jumped out of the way, like ah.
it barely tagged you a little bit, but you mostly got out of the way. Take 5 damage,
Youch.
and then it's back to the top of the order here with Thwack.
I'm gonna keep working on those runes.
Cool. Yeah, make another Arcana check.
Duh.
Oh, so close. Okay. No
With
luck there.
advantage, maybe.
when you guys do fail, you are still like scratching out some of the runes, so you are making progress, but it's just not going. It's like going slowly, like trying to carve out runes out of a wall and change them into something else and scratch them out and destroy them. It's kind of takes a while, and just like smacking them with weapons and whatever you're trying to do is not the most easy thing. Breck.
If I could have helped him with his turn, would that give him advantage?
If you would have been giving the help action,
Okay.
but
Okay, that's fine. Help! Help! Oh well, here I go. Well, ain't nobody helping me anything.
So same thing there. You get 1 or 2 of them scratched out in time, but don't make a whole lot of progress. Flack.
Wait, would my extra attack work on this?
Sure. They won't give you advantage on your Arcana roll, but I'll say that you can try it again.
Sweet. God.
These rolls are gonna be death rolls.
All right, Flack, what's up?
True goblin rolls.
Well, I believe I can sprint and squish myself to the other side of the other wall. Hopefully,
Sure.
my little frail body can hopefully not get tagged with a rock there too hard, and I can then. I dashed for this turn, but the next turn I'll help.
Okay, so you guys are all
Scratch.
under the aura of protection now, and the boulder reappears. So everyone make a strength save once again.
Sweet.
All right, it narrowly is avoided by the 2 of you, and Flack, you take another 5 damage.
God, you guys have been up here for so long. How hard is it to scratch out these runes?
All right, you all get to try again.
They're very sturdy runes.
Everybody make an Arcana check, unless you have an idea of something else you want to do.
Oh my god.
Somebody want to help? Help?
You
me?
guys
There we
are so
go.
bad at this.
Ooh.
All right, you get the last one, and the magic kind of fades, and the boulder slammed. Like you were, as soon as it passed by you, you started working on it again, and it almost got to the very bottom, and you guys shut off the portals, and it just slams into the back wall at the bottom of the ramp and seals off the way that you came. And then the door next to you opens.
Guys, I gotta need a rest after that one.
Yeah, that sucked.
I'm down a little bit myself, but short rest. I can use spells, but do you want me to use them or save them?
I mean, I wouldn't mind short resting and making a little camp in and around this boulder, hiding out.
I think we should. Well, I don't know. Yeah, if we go to the next room, whatever it is will start.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
require us to sacrifice more hit points.
And then fight. And
And
I'm
then
already
fight
below.
and
I'm already
die
below
more.
half, so I'd like to
Yeah.
rest if possible before we introduce ourselves to a new predicament.
You can see into the next room, and it appears to be a large chamber, kind of like the main entryway where you saw the sarcophagus, but this one has another sandstone pillar door at the other end of it that is closed, and this room is much more like ornately decorated with trim around the walls and like actual like paintings and drapery and stuff like that. It's like actually like an outfitted room, although it appears to be empty.
We're gonna rest in this like nasty boulder hallway and then find out that the next room is like a nice restroom.
Yeah. Probably.
Well, it's
Like,
better
"Hey,
safe than
you've earned a
sorry.
break."
It's better. This is what these dungeons do to us. Sometimes you just gotta sleep on a boulder, right in front of a nice like prince's bed. You know, it's
This is
just
definitely like
you don't want
Cave
to
of
risk it.
Wonders in the next room. There's gonna be a lamp that a monkey will steal, and everyone will
Yeah.
have to escape on a magic carpet, and it'll be terrible.
So you guys want to try to rest out in the hallway?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and like crawl like in like the like since like the boulder's like spherical. I'm gonna try and like sneak in a little crack and like underneath it and just kind of like make a little bed there, like as if maybe like a rodent would.
Sure, yeah, and you actually you kind of wedge yourself in between the boulder and like the corner, and it feels like a cave that a goblin would actually be pretty comfortable in. So you do feel like right at home, and it feels natural to you. So yeah, you guys can kind of post up next to the boulder and get a quick short rest in. So
I'm going to kind of curl up with Brutus and use the pillow as a nice. I'll have a nice little cat nap.
Nice. Okay, you
A
feel
little
like you're
I'll
I'll
shop
actually.
sleep
nap.
holding the doll, the Hydra baby.
So everyone can feel free to roll your hit die or whatever you want to do.
I actually don't know this character's hit die.
Just hit the hit.
Sorcerer, I think, is a D6, right?
You just hit the hit dice
Yeah,
on
that
the
sounds right.
Yeah.
sheet. It'll do it. So we allowed to roll 1, 2. What is it?
What is the actual like rules as written for that for a short rest?
You can roll as many as you want. You just only get half of your hit die, half of your
Yep.
maximum hit die back on a
On a
long
long
rest.
rest,
so-
right?
And
So
they had
yeah.
the game. They had the game the other night. It says if you use all your hit dice, you give yourself a level of exhaustion.
Oh wow, cool. I've never done that before, but
I don't know if that's rules written, but that's wrong.
I don't think it is. Maybe it is.
Yeah,
but
that sounds like house rules. But
that's cool though. That's a cool idea. No, you guys can just go ahead and roll however many you want, but yeah, you may or may not get them back anytime soon. Dang,
That's exactly what I needed to get back up.
cool.
is there any effect from using my pillow for my little nap here?
You do feel more well rested, although mechanically you don't really know.
Do I dream of sugar plum fairies or anything like that?
You do have a strange dream, actually, and I will explain that. So everyone, as soon as everyone's done with their mechanic rest stuff here, I'll explain.
Okay.
Yes.
All good?
Yep.
So
You used a lot of your.
yeah. So as soon as
I lost more than half my health.
as soon
You
as
guys
you
didn't scratch it.
as soon as you drift off to sleep, your head touches the pillow and you're out like immediately and super restful, and you envision this open field, and you can hear the voice of the intercom speaking to you. And it says, there might be a chance that you'll make it. I'm still not entirely convinced, but there might be a chance. And it doesn't sound like it's really speaking to you, but it's like you are hearing like the personal conversation of the intercom voice. And it says they have to make it so I can get out of here too, and then I can help them. And as soon as you hear that, then I can help them, you see a prison cell, and you're kind of above it, not really in a body. You're just floating, looking into the prison cell, and you see Deacon, and you see Chewie, and you see Chad covered in dirt and like bone dust and
Snap.
grime, and they are looking entirely beaten down and without their belongings, and they're trapped in this prison cell. And then you wake up from your long rest, or your short rest. Quick
So
little
did I
nap.
get the sense that the prison cell was somewhere in the pyramid, or
No,
it was just okay?
you didn't get like sense for its location at all. You just kind
So
of
it's like
saw it.
whenever the voice said that they would be able to help them, it kind of like flashed to show the other.
Mm-hmm.
Then okay, I get you.
And then you wake up.
Interesting.
Guys, you have got to try this pillow. It is divine.
What? Guys, I gotta tell you, that was an amazing rest. I feel so good. So what's this about a pillow? Oh, it must have been this doll.
Was I the only one who had that dream, or did everybody have that dream?
Just you.
Okay.
I had a dream about this doll, and it just grew in size, and I jumped on its back, and it just started stomping on everything. But now I think about it, that doesn't make any sense because we're inside a pyramid. How would I get on its back and stomp on things? There's like a ceiling. Whatever. Dreams are dreams, and I had a good time.
I had
I had
one
a
too.
dream about a bunch of people in jail. It was great.
Wait, that doesn't sound good at all.
I had
It
a
wasn't
dream.
us though, so you know.
Hey, did you pick their pockets? That sounds like a good dream.
I mean, I kind of was just like, I wasn't there. I was
So
just kind of like
you just
seeing
kind of
them.
saw people in suffering, and then you.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess
was
it can be
nice.
pretty cool. Yeah, to each their own.
Brack, what
My
was your
rock.
dream?
My rock was in my dream. I would lay it down and jump around, and at the end of the game, it said hopscotch.
Oh, but the intercom lady said she thought we were gonna make it, so that was pretty cool.
That's
Ooh.
cool.
And as
That
soon
is
as
a
you
good
say that, the intercom speaks and says, "Please proceed through the southeastern door."
I thought she was gonna repeat the
So
statistic
does
of who makes it
the
through.
intercom voice still sounds like Anne, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And she's no longer sounding like entirely bored and non-caring. She's sounding like more
Like she's getting into the role.
professional about the job now, yeah.
It's like, ooh, they're gonna make it. Ooh, they're gonna make it.
After
Like
she
I'm
got,
actually paying attention to you with some anticipation now.
like the mimic didn't eat you like the last 20 people.
Yeah, exactly.
So, let's go.
You guys go through the door?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Being very careful not to touch anything.
Sure. So you enter into this large chamber, and the door seals behind you.
Like a
And
room full of mimics.
let me see.
Uh-oh.
Anne appears in front of you.
Hello,
And
Ellen.
she
Is this a checkpoint?
you can see the glyphs on the wall and this nice kind of ornate room, and she explains that this was the kind of great meeting hall of the ancient pharaohs of the infinite mind, and this is where they would come to both discuss their political ideas and great plans for their nations and for the building of this pyramid, and they would also partake in like ritualistic dreaming. And that she explains that the curators of the museum that now are in control of things have come up with a way to kind of recreate this experience through their own magics that they can employ. And the next trial has to do with that. And she says, it's hard for me to explain, so we'll just let you experience it. But just know that the next trial is more about your own conscience and choices than making mechanically the right move. And she disappears. and you see these portholes on every few feet on the wall kind of slide open, and a little like nozzle slides out from each of the porthole, and this green gas starts spewing out into the room. And then over the intercom you hear
Nighty-night time.
you hear anyone who purchased a pillow from the gift shop may now employ
Ooh,
it.
ooh. That's me.
What do we do? What do we do?
I curl up with the pillow,
All right,
like prepared to slip into unconsciousness forcefully through.
you put the pillow down to brace your head, and you curl up with it, and then the gas envelops the room, and you are all taken away into unconsciousness and knocked out. And let me make sure I don't miss any small details here.
How did the guy get through this without the pillow?
You awaken on a large grassy open field, and thwack, you feel like a little tiny sense of deja vu seeing this. And on the field you kind of see yourselves flying over this grassy open area and come to rest outside a small village where you all awaken. And you see Anne in front of you, and she's speaking, saying, "Don't worry, you're not actually physically here. This is all just in your heads. But this is a real place that you really are seeing right now in real time. This form of dreaming that the pharaohs would employ was almost like a scrying that a modern wizard would employ. I'm sure you've all heard of that. It was a way for them to almost travel to distant lands to meet with each other, discuss battle plans and politics without having to travel at all. And sometimes they also used it for offensive purposes as well." And she explains, this village, and you can see this, like, there's children playing inside the village, and it looks like an old, like, medieval style, like, thatched roof place with a well in the center, and you can see children playing, and there's farmers working and tending on their crops and their animals outside the village, and there's a river running through it, and there's some women that are like kind of doing social stuff, hanging out with each other, watching the children, and washing some of the clothes at the river's edge on the exit, like south exit side of the village. And Anne explains, this village exists outside of the Lich's influence. It has been forgotten by time and by gods and by the multiverse entirely. It lives in its own way forever, peacefully and eternally. A curse was placed on the village after it was built on unholy grounds long before the words even existed to describe such a thing. And she explains that as you see these children happily playing along and people working, and there's like no wind, perfect weather, the grass is just perfectly green, and this beautiful, pristine, clear river runs through it. You don't see anything wrong at all. And the further you try to look into the distance on the horizon, it just kind of turns to this fog, and it just seems like this village is set in this perfect little green valley all on its own. And
Yeah, it looks terrible. What a horrible curse.
she explains the
There's
village
children and they're laughing. And, oh,
the village elders made an impossible choice when it was presented to them when the village was cursed, and they had to make a choice to protect the village from the curse. Inside the last hut at the end of the village, in the basement, there lives a small child, a girl, the first child born in the village hundreds and hundreds of years ago. She's kept alive by the curse, and in exchange for the village's eternal prosperity and protection from the evil being that brought the curse, she is eternally tortured and mangled, endlessly maimed, brutalized, but never dying or aging at all. truly an evil act. However, if killed by an outsider, she will be at peace. Although this will allow the curse to resume, and surely peril will fall upon this peaceful village and all its inhabitants. And Anne turns back to all of you and says, so, the choice is yours. You may put an end to the child's suffering and force the village to bear the consequences of the curse, or you may allow the village to live on in peace and prosperity, but wear the guilt of the child's endless torment as an emblem of your choice for all time to come. Choose, and the path forward through the pyramid will be revealed. And disappears.
So
So,
did we all dream this, or is this just
You're all there.
whack? Or okay, so we're all just in this place. Okay.
do we get a chance to like talk to Anne before she disappears, or?
Sure, yeah, you can still like reach out and ask questions.
so was this choice given to everyone that came through here?
She
For us?
says, although you can't interact with these people in any like physical or mental way or anything, she explains that they all are aware of their situation, and it's the
Well, no, I mean like everyone that's come through the trials before us has presumably come through this room. So did they get offered the same choice at this village?
she explains that although she cannot like provide details on anyone else's trials, that this is they aren't necessarily the same for everyone.
Because I was like, because they're obviously still here, and at least one person has made it through these trials. So, but it wouldn't make much sense that every single person that made it to this point would let the village survive.
Right.
Well, yeah. Like, either way, then like no matter what, even if only one person made it through, someone's cursed already, and it doesn't matter what we do. What we do is irrelevant. So this is like an isolated situation that only exists for us.
So what was our choice again?
So the
So
village is surviving because there's one small girl that's being tortured endlessly.
correct.
But the thing is, she's not a girl anymore. Technically, she's been there the longest. She's the oldest.
She's never aged and never grown up or died or anything. Just her entire life has been nonstop pain and torture.
Well, she's used to it. Everyone else, I'm presuming if you kill her and release her from her torture, everyone else just gets tortured forever. So, like,
Do we know what the curse
she's at least used to it, and
is
it's only one person.
that's being held back? Like what the
Uh,
curse would do?
Anne says, would you like me to repeat the trial?
Sure.
She says, let's see.
I mean, just that part. Maybe doesn't have to go through
Yeah.
the whole thing.
So, speaking about the small child, says she's kept alive by the curse, and in exchange for the village's eternal prosperity and protection from the evil being of the curse, she is eternally tortured and mangled, endlessly maimed and brutalized, but never dying or aging. However, if she is killed by an outsider, she will be at peace, although this will allow the curse to resume, and peril will certainly fall upon the village.
Okay.
Does the village just die too? Because like, if she dies and the village dies, then everyone's just
Can we-
happy in the end of the.
Can we interact with the
What's that?
Can we interact with the villagers?
You cannot.
Yeah, because I think it's coming down to like a pretty clear. It's
I'm
one
just
of two
thinking
things.
if we could get one of the villagers to kill her. We're not. It would be.
They
It would not
can't.
be.
It has
It
to be
would
an
not. It would,
outsider.
It has to be an outsider specifically.
You can ask questions if you want to
Listen.
Anne about the situation.
well, the way I listened to it, it sounded like if an outsider, the curse would continue if an outsider killed her, one of their own killed her.
Yeah, like what the only confusion that we have is like what the curse does if it's released. Because if we just want to like kill the girl, then like like then and if it just kills everybody else, then like that's the best option. But if it just
I think it was
passes the curse on,
non-specific. Like it
if
just
it
says that
passes the
they'll be in
curse on,
peril.
then if everyone else has the curse, then you're giving more people the curse, effectively making it worse. Plus, they're not used to it. They haven't lived their whole life. They've lived their entire life in perfectness, and then you're taking that away from them, and there's more people. So that's objectively worse than giving it to the one person who's lived torture their whole life and known nothing else.
I mean,
But
for all
if they
we
all just die,
know,
then it's just better to just kill her and let them all die. But you don't know if they get the curse or not. So that's
for
what
all
I'm-
we know, the curse is that it would be kind of rainy in the village. Like we don't know what the peril that would befall the village is, because like right now they're in peace and prosperity and they're living wonderful lives. Maybe their lives just get a little bit crappier. You know,
I've had it too good for too long.
the value of the dollar goes down a bit.
I mean, you should think that like this should weigh on their conscience. Like eventually, like, do they really deserve all this happiness while this girl gets tortured for them? Like, are they really doing anything with their lives that makes it worth this girl permanently being like tortured?
Maybe the curse is that they would realize what they've done to the girl. Like they're torturing her, keeping like the whole thing about the curse is that they
That the
don't
villagers
have to
do
know
it to,
about.
or the
what's
villagers do it
happening
to the
her.
girl. The villagers are the one who have to torture her.
Well, I think she's just locked up in the basement and it's just happening to her, right?
Yeah, but like the villagers like to pay their price like every day, like each one has to go out or something. And it's just like, oh, your day's Wednesday. I have to go at 9 p.m. Then you go fucking, you like flag the girl with like a whip, you know? Just like you hate to do it, but if you don't, then like eternal curse comes.
You hate to do it.
Well, like think about it, though, like
that's what their
if
life
they're-
would be. Like if everyone does it, you just be like, oh, you know, Cindy did it last night. I got to. I can't
But
let her
see,
down.
if they're truly living happy, peaceful, prosperity, and all that good lives, then they probably don't know what's happening to her, or at least aren't, you know, involved with actually whipping her. So
I like to think they are.
it's like, is Wednesday's your day to whip the girl? Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Are
man, I
you
got
on
the
the whipping
3 a.m.
crew?
slot, dude. Like every day I have to wake up at 3 a.m., dude. Who wakes up at that time?
Hey, at least you're not on the hot irons crew, man. Whipping is easy compared to the hot irons.
Oh yeah, I heard sometimes the hot iron spills onto yourself and it's like a double torture.
Dude, it gets so hot down there. It's a basement. It's not ventilated. Awful.
I just take
That's
one.
why I most of the time I just bring earplugs and it's easy peasy, dude.
This is awesome.
I,
I just
I
want to say.
wish I could.
Oh my god.
Tickle
It's
or
like
two
I wish I could
survives.
whip the girl, man. The hot irons. Have you ever heard or smelled fleshy being burnt and boiled? It's awful. Come on.
No, but I've
Whipping's
smelled
so much
hair being
easier.
burnt, and that is
Oof.
not a good smell.
Yeah.
Yep, I smelled that too.
This is awesome. I've always wanted to do like, moral problems and stuff in D&D and never really knew how it would turn out, and it's awesome.
But seriously, like I'm thinking, like they are living in this peaceful, happy life because they don't have to deal with the guilt of what's happening to her.
Yeah,
So
there's
the
no way
curse
they
might
they wouldn't
be-
know, right? Like
Like-
eventually they'd be like, "What the fuck are we doing? This is so messed up." Like they'd have to.
Well, that's my thing. Is like, what if releasing the curse, all it does is make them remember the last 100 years or whatever that has happened to that girl? Like
Yeah.
nothing else happens. Just hey, by the way, here's what.
By the way,
here's
this
what's
is
been
this is what
happening
you've
in the
done.
basement that
This was the fuel
you've never
to your
gone
like
in.
infinite
Yeah.
electricity and infinite mana and infinite
Yeah, exactly.
waterfall. It's like holy shit, it was straight from the blood from this girl. Like, oh my god.
It's like, by the way, that Soylent Green that you've been eating, it's people. Have a good life. Deal with that shit for a while.
Yeah, that wouldn't be so bad then, though. It's like they get their just desserts, and then we get to leave this moral conundrum. And we can also kind of feel good because we're like, hey, girl, your shift's over. You can leave now.
Because, I mean, either they don't know about it and the curse will, like, make them realize what they've been doing, which is arguably a good thing because they should probably be aware of what's been happening, or they are aware of it, making them evil, and
Yeah.
so then But then again, we're goblins, so
Yeah.
evil is kind of relative. So
I'm neutral.
I am neutral as well.
And for me, like it's still like to like the fine line of what it means from like transferring the curse from her to the village. If it literally is like the whatever the misery that befalls them is literally just death, if the peril is just literally just death, this world probably shouldn't exist in any universe. So maybe it's good that it collapses and we just end it here. You know?
So the magic that's like keeping them from like being affected by the curse is what's also like sequestering them in this like pocket dimension. Is that right?
That is unknowable from your perspective currently.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, because for me, that's all that's the only turning point for me. I'm on the fence until I understand that.
From
Like
the
what the curse
description, you're
means.
led to believe that, regardless of your choice, the world will continue, but we'll just have to deal with the ramifications of your choice.
It's just the fate of this
Dang.
village.
Mhm.
And
Dang, I wanted one of the choices to just remove this village because I just don't see a world where it's actually worth existing. Dang,
I mean,
that's-
I think the choice then would be to free the girl, because
yeah, I mean, at that point, it's like, if you're gonna get some sort of like safe haven world, but at the price of like some like eternal suffering for some girl, it's just why. If this is your pocket dimension, that's all that is. It's not worth that battery. Like her life source isn't worth that. So if they're just happy to exist in this universe where they like only they exist and they live forever or whatever, or there's no way to like get in or out. If they're just happy, hey, we exist, we're real. Well, fine, but you don't get to be happy forever. You know that doesn't get your time has come. You've lived 5,000 years happy without any problems. You never stubbed your toe. You know, maybe now it's time. So I'm down. I'm down to free the
I
girl
mean,
or kill her.
it's basically a village full of Elizabeth Bathory. Like, drain the blood of the young girls so that you can live forever and be beautiful.
Hell yeah, exactly.
So as soon as you all kind of are collectively discussing this and starting to narrow in on your conclusion, you find yourselves no longer in the nice open field outside of the village, and you kind of see that you're now in like a darker basement environment, and in the corner you see, chained to a wall, this mangled just pile of scar tissue and matted bloodied hair, just whimpering and occasionally shrieking, and you just see like a pool of blood and sweat underneath this form.
Okay, I have one more theory, and it's probably not true. But like, what if when we go and attempt to kill her, we can't, and that's what prolongs the forever torture. We are the people making the choice that creates that torture forever. We can't kill her.
Like,
Really makes you think.
That's the lie. But it's probably
Or
wrong.
like-
It's just something that just popped in my head right now, but it's probably wrong. We should just go with what we were going
or
with.
just like there's an infinite number of parties being offered this exact same choice, and their attempts to kill her are what's torturing her.
I think that's
But
what he was getting
that's what I
at.
was saying. That's exactly
that
what I
what
was
you-
saying.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. That's what I was trying to say. So yeah, like so then we're like just contributing. So then we're just like the next person to hit her. Like we hit her, and she's just like, "Why'd you do that? Like just like you're not gonna kill me." It's like, "Oh my god, we're sorry." You know.
Hmm.
Well, we're gonna have to try anyways. I mean, can we talk to her? Can we like say like, "Hey, are you okay with us murdering you?"
You want to be murdered?
Do you want to be murdered, little girl? Do you want to be murdered?
You unfortunately cannot.
I had a feeling.
She's too busy screaming in agony. Hmm.
Yeah. So who's gonna take the possible
Is she
irreversible mental blow
is
to
she
their
like
guilt?
is she shackled in there, or what?
Yeah.
Chained up.
Let's just undo her chains.
You can't physically interact with this world.
Uh,
Well, then we
but
can't
we
kill her.
can try to kill her.
You can make the decision too.
Oh.
Uh,
Or they'll ruin my next idea if I can't interact.
like it. Well, can I not then make the decision to try to remove her chains?
Yeah, there you go.
Sure.
All right.
Are you like mentally trying to, decide that you're freeing this girl?
I mean, freeing in the sense of unshackling, not freeing in the sense of murdering.
Right. Nothing seems to
Wanna-
happen.
I just want to free the people.
Yeah, nothing seems to happen when you
Well,
think about unshackling.
what did Anna originally say? Something about making a choice that's not necessarily the mechanical choice to make, or something like that.
I think she just was talking in terms of like this is going to be more of like a thought puzzle and decision based more than just like trying to like outplay a boulder or outplay a monster.
Yeah, you're pretty much on the right track there. Like, think about this in terms of morality, not like trying to game a mechanical system or something.
Hmm. Yeah, I will play the game then. Since I can't be the one to actually like interact and kill her, then we'll make the choice to do it.
So you
At least
now
I will.
you have at least put in your vote for kill the girl.
Yep.
All right, everybody else.
Yeah, I think that's our conclusion. It's pretty close, but we're like 51 to 55.
Any thoughts,
on that
Brack?
side.
Well, if the paladin's gonna do it, I guess I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll like mouth the word with Grax's body, like yes.
Okay. So as soon as you all come to that conclusion, you wake up and you're back in the like Pharaoh dreaming chamber with Anna in front of you, and the doors are still sealed. The green mist is kind of still around. It's hard to see. You can really only see a couple feet in front of you. Anna disappears, or Anne. Sorry, Anne, not Anna. And
Hey, we didn't get to see the action. What the
And
heck?
it was her sister.
the small
How am I
girl,
supposed to feel eternal guilt if I don't see it?
she appears enchained to the wall in front of you in the room, just as she was in the basement. And the rusted iron dagger from the basin of the statue appears at her feet.
Oh,
I
there's
used the
action.
dagger to unlock her manacles.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, I didn't think it would.
I hand her the dagger.
She tries to position the knife like as soon as given an option, immediately she tries to like end her own life and is struggling with it, being shackled to a wall.
You want to die, little girl? Do you
Oh my
want to die?
God.
Do you want us to kill you?
You don't
Uncle
get
Brack, Uncle
any
Brack, I help you.
intelligible response. Oh my God.
Damn.
So she just is chained, struggling and kind of flailing this dagger around with one hand, but it's chained up.
Nobody wants to kill the little girl.
I will gently walk over and assist her.
Gently slice her throat.
All right.
I'll gently drive the blade into her heart.
This lights and sounds start. No, just kidding. You win.
She turns
Ding-
into a mimic.
Ding ding ding. No. She as soon as you like make the conscious action and decision, you do it. The green mist kind of encircles everything, and she disappears and reappears, and says, "Don't worry that was not the actual real person from that situation. Although the village was real. You just
I throw
had
the
to."
dagger at Anne's feet.
It disappears. You just had to be the one to make the action, to make the moral choice, regardless of whether or not it was the correct one. And the green mist kind of starts swirling around again, and says, let's fast forward a little bit and go check back in and see how they're doing in the future after you've made your choice. And you all start to fall asleep again.
Oh, thanks, Ghost of Christmas Future.
This is one of those things where
that
nothing
is
we
kinda
choose
what
is
it's
gonna
like.
be happy. Every ending's a bad ending. I'm calling it now.
And you appear in the open field again near where the village was, and
Ooh,
this is where we will pick it up next week.
does that look like your doll?
Hydra baby. I'm clutching Hydra baby in my sleep.
Cool. Yeah, we will pick it up right there next time.
My 6-headed doll.
So before we finish for the day, I just want to talk to you guys about this. Like, what? This is the first time I've tried to make like a really, really weird, almost funhouse dungeon with these like morality puzzles and traps, and not just straight up combat and stuff like that. Are you guys enjoying it so far? What do you think? Having a good time?
Dick move, Anne.
Yeah.
Dick move.
I love Anne. I think that's a great character, and like it's really cool that there's like it's not just like go in the pyramid just like any other thing and just like figure it out. It's like there's some person there who's just like used to like seeing some assholes walk in and just die on the first floor. Just,
I
like,
keep
tired.
picturing. I picture Janine from Ghostbusters, just like
Yeah.
like completely
I like it,
over.
'cause I've done a couple morality things and done.
Yeah.
So it really makes people think.
Yeah, I really enjoyed hearing you guys like talk it out over that last one, and that is one of my favorite morality problems in general. Like even outside of D&D, that's like in a philosophy sense, that's a pretty common like morality problem. Like you have a village, but they can only exist in this peaceful, perfect society by torturing and like making one person's life absolutely horrible forever. It's really cool hearing other people talk about that.
Well, it's also kind of the trolley problem.
Exactly.
too.
It's just a different version of that, and like a little bit more high stakes, with a whole village at stake versus like permanent torture for one person rather than just instantly, one side gets killed.
Also, I was totally poking fun at like the health cost stuff and all that, and like how there's like so much. I actually love it, and I think it's hilarious, and like I think it's a really cool and unique mechanic that like needs to be implemented more, even if it's just like a temporary item like that you would get in like a thing, or
Right.
like permanent or not, like taking like life or something to get permanent or not is like a really cool idea, I think.
Cool.
for,
I'm
like,
glad you guys like that. I think it's
weighing options. It's just a really interesting choice.
I think it gives people a lot of weird choices, and it's a cool way to like simulate the like stresses of combat in a dungeon without having to do like never-ending combat in a dungeon.
Yeah, you don't actually have to make the dungeon like crazy. Like, oh, I just add like 3 times the enemies.
Exactly.
It's like,
And
now
that's
you just like you're like making it more interesting by like adding more items to the mix, and now all of a sudden you don't have to make all these rooms like overloaded with just enemies just for the sake of making it harder.
right. And next time you guys are going to fight this Hydra, which essentially is the first like real combat of the dungeon, and it's still like scary because your health totals are lower and it's the first time you've really fought anything, so you don't know if it's going to be super strong or not. And D&D in general, like the higher you get in level, the more difficult it is to balanced combat because it is just like, oh, throw 50 more enemies at them. It's just like you're just trying to whittle down their HP over time. Like it's really hard to balance combat, like one enemy against a party of heroes. The heroes almost always win in D&D. So it's interesting trying to come up with balanced, interesting, unique encounters that aren't just, waves of enemies.
Yeah, plus it's like really interesting when it's like, say you don't have a lot of a resource or something, or you like want to buy a lot and you want to take the risk, but like you just don't have the gold or whatever. It's like it allows you to actually go for that risk and be, you know what, I'll be minus 10 HP. If it means I have a chance for a weapon, or if you just know what it is and it's like, I'm gonna go for it. It might not be worth it, but like at least you have that option instead of just being like, oh well, I didn't get enough gold last mission, so I can't get what I want.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, cool. Yeah, it's definitely like it's still a really rough amateur take at trying to design a dungeon like this, but I think it's going really well. I'm having a ton of fun seeing you guys navigate through it and actually, discussing all the problems and seeing the teleporting boulder trap work pretty well, and then the morality problem work pretty well is awesome. I'm super glad it's going how it is so far, and I can't wait to get into more of it next week. Anything you guys need to say or want to say before we go?
Nothing other than I picture the Anne as Aubrey Plaza.
You are absolutely correct with that. It's like angsty tour guide / teen at their first job. Like that character in Parks and Rec is pretty much exactly what I'm
when she does
picturing.
Like that kind of like dead eyes, like where she just doesn't.
Yeah, like just does not care.
Yeah, totally.
Good hint picking up on that.
Yeah, no, I'm just excited for the Hydra. This is gonna be great.
I'm hoping we can just bypass it by giving it the doll.
Yeah.
I want the
like,
doll
here's your
and it to
doll.
switch places and or switch sizes. Like I touch it with a doll, and then the doll becomes the Hydra size, and the Hydra just becomes a little baby.
Maybe it's a voodoo Hydra doll.
That'd be interesting.
Ooh, that would actually be really interesting.
Guess we'll see you next week.
Yeah, I guess so.
Let me see. I think we should be able to still play next week. It is Thanksgiving, so anything could happen with figuring out family stuff and all that. But as far as I know, for now, we will be still playing next week. If anything comes up with you guys, let me know. But we'll plan on it.
Thanksgiving on Thursday, so I'm clear.
Yeah, I am as well. But who knows with family and travel if everyone's going to be able to be free and all that. So just
I'm Canadian, so I Thanksgiving. What Thanksgiving? What the hell? Everything's Christmas here.
Right. Yeah, it is here too. It's like as soon as Halloween
ends. It's just worse in like Canada because there's no excuse. Like there's no Thanksgiving. You can't just say, oh, it's like no, Thanksgiving's already passed. It's like literally November 1st. Like there's
Christmas,
nothing else. Yeah. not even like a leftover candy wrapper on the floor.
It's not like late Halloween. Late Halloween.
No, it doesn't exist.
I'm pretty excited for December and Christmas and stuff this year. I got a lot of plans for D&D with the channel and stuff, so it should be cool. But yeah, everyone just keep in touch for next week. If anything changes, you let me know and I'll let you guys know. But plan on continuing right here where we left off. We should pretty easily finish this dungeon next time. We're just about exactly halfway through it.
Baller.
And yeah, if you guys think of anything like feedback wise or whatever, let me know. I really love hearing from you guys about what you're thinking, how you're enjoying things, and if there's anything you want to see in the future or have any ideas, I definitely will try to make it work. But that'll be it for today. Let's call it a night and we'll get back to it next time. I will be back tomorrow night playing some more Death Stranding, most likely. They did fix standard in Magic. They banned a bunch of horrible bad cards, so we might be playing some Magic again. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night for some more stream, and thank you guys so much for playing. I had an absolute blast. It's one of my favorite sessions ever, so thanks a lot, guys.
Definitely one of the best. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And this is a really good handcrafted homebrew, and I can't wait for next week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Later.
Talk to you guys later.